It's the first day of the final month of the regular season, and we've got a big one in the big country. The number 2 ranked and undefeated Tarleton State Texans here at homecoming in Abilene to take on the number 24 ranked Abilene Christian Wildcats. This is UAC football on ESPN+. Welcome to the broadcast booth. Grant Boone alongside Jim Reese. Jim, packed house, old rivals, first place in the United Athletic Conference on the line. And oh, by the way, yeah, it is homecoming. A lot going on. So as a coach and a player, what's the mindset right now before kickoff?
Well, everybody's nervous, and the coach knows, honestly, first thing they may not even tell you is if you practice well, you're going to play well. So I think for Keith Patterson and ACU, if they've had a good week of practice, they've had an open week that could be to their advantage. The one advantage, huge for Tarleton, is they're 9-0, and they come in with great confidence. And so they have a great coach, and so I would say if they practice well, they think they're going to win the game.
Well, and they have the highest ranking they have ever had in any classification, number 2 in the nation. Let's take a look at some of the key players for the game, beginning with Trey Page, an outstanding freshman running back for the Texans.
Yeah, Trey Page the third is a redshirt freshman. He averages remarkably over 100 yards per game, and even a better stat is 7.5 yards per carry, which is unheard of. He is one of 4 outstanding running backs, and there is a question mark. We've heard that he may or may not go. If they bring in one of their other 3 5'10" running backs, they'll be just as good.
And for Abilene Christian, it starts with Stone Earl. When he's good, he's been very, very good.
He's been very good. When he's good, ACU becomes good, and so the key for them is for Stone Earl to play within himself, make the right read, don't try to be a miracle worker or Superman, and he's first in completion, second in yards and TDs.
All right, so it should be a doozy here. Battle for first place in the UAC. For more, let's go down to the sidelines and our colleague Roman Raffelli.
Hey, thanks, Grant. 6 out of the last 7 games between the Texans and the Wildcats have been one-score games with the Wildcats, winning 3 out of the last 4, including a win last year that clinched them their first United Athletic Conference title. It was a touchdown with 19 seconds left, scored by Sam Hicks, his second of the game, along with 173 all-purpose yards that propelled the Wildcats into that, as well as a postseason win later on. The winner of today's game will have the head-to-head tiebreaker and control their destiny down the home stretch. It will also be Coach Keith Patterson's 26th win with the Wildcats, tying in with John Payne, who coached the Cats from 1985 to 1990. Guys, back to you.
7 degrees, 69 now. It's gonna stay sub 70, it looks like. And it's not just, Jim, the game of the conference today. This is the FCS game of the week, number 2 against number 24.
Yeah, couldn't get any better. Great atmosphere, homecoming. It's going to be great.
It looks like a spring game, purple on white here, and the kickoff from Corbin Poston goes through the end zone, and Abilene Christian goes first. And you see the numbers for Stone. Rough game against Southern Utah 2 Saturdays ago. ACU had an off week last week, threw 3 picks, one of them returned for a touchdown. He's been outstanding, as ACU has been when they've played here at Wildcat Stadium.
He certainly has, and the key also will be for ACU to be able to run the ball. Their offensive line has been good, occasionally inconsistent, so running the ball for both teams really is critical.
You mentioned Trey Page may not go for Tarleton State. Jordan Vaughn is a question mark for Abilene Christian. Their top runner, Ravon Banks, starts in the backfield. It's going to be a little trick play to start things off. This is Javon Gibson. He's got a lot of room to run if he can get one block. He's got a couple. He's going to have a first down on the end around. And it's a big play and a trick play from Graham Harrell, the ACU offensive coordinator.
That was number 1 on the script, and they saw something this week that said they had a chance and nearly got run down in the backfield. About a 10-yard loss turned into a big play.
It's a gain of 17. And Javon Gibson caught a touchdown against Tarleton State, in ACU's conference winning victory last year. Has a big play to start things off. This looks like a designed run from Earl, and that's what you're going to see from Stone. He'll beat you. He can beat you with both.
And he runs the counter and the quarterback draw, does well in both. That was the call play, 4 yards.
Out to the 46-yard line. Earl, as you may know, played at ACU for a couple of years, then went off to North Texas for a couple. Marshall last year. And here on homecoming weekend, Stone Earl is having his last season. experienced quarterbacks. Over the middle, that's Jed Castles. Hangs on to the ball, and that's a big thing because not only is it a first down, but he protects the football, and that's hard, Jim, against these Texans.
Boy, that really is hard. Stone made a great read, killed his first 2 looks, came back to over the middle, tight end. Great completion.
There's the starting offense for Abilene Christian, presented by LMB Real Estate. Yeah, how hard is it to hold on to the ball? Tarleton State is number 1 in the nation in creating turnovers. They have 28 takeaways. It's a give, and this is E.J. Wilson running right, lowers the shoulder, and both guys take a pounding there. And it's a gain of about 4 and a 2nd and 6.
Yeah, EJ has become one of the top 3 backs for ACU in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Really consistent, good runner.
And Jordan Vaughn does check in for ACU. Shoulder injury for Jordan. Missed most of the second half against Southern Utah after having racked up already 100 yards in that game, and he was missed as that game went along. 2nd and 6, first possession for both teams. And it's a gain of a couple for Jordan. Going to bring up a 3rd down and 4 for ACU.
Yeah, big 3rd down, 2nd and 6. Just ran the inside zone. Good push by the defensive line of Tarleton State.
1 pass, and the rest runs for ACU on this opening possession. Tarleton has played no one more than Abilene Christian in their 110 years of football, and few have been bigger than this one. Last year was also big in Stephenville when Abilene Christian rallied to win, as Roman told you about earlier. 3rd down and 4, J.J. Henry in motion, and J.J.'s going to catch it out of the backfield, and he's going to have a first down. Earl to J.J. Henry, and it's a 1st and 10.
Yeah, great design play, crazy motion on J.J. Ended up running a wheel, and Stone Earl hit him quickly right past the line of scrimmage.
All right, so Abilene Christian from their own 25 down now to the 28-yard line of Tarleton State. ACU is out of wiggle room. They've got to win this game and then win their last 3, 2 of which will be on the road to win the conference. Tarleton State can wrap up a share of the conference title at least with a win today. 1st and 10, play action. Earl looking deep, over the middle, through the hands and intercepted. And there you go, through the hands of Radrian Baltrop and picked off by Tarleton State's Devin Sterling. It's the 29th takeaway. And that's a big early mistake for ACU.
Yeah, ACU's got to be able to catch that ball in and out of his stomach, shoulder pads, bounced out.
You know, take another look here. It looked like Earl was on the money. Baltrop right through his hands. And Sterling right there. It's no coincidence when you're 9+ games into a season and you've got 29 takeaways.
No, and boy, that stopped a really good drive for ACU.
And this is what Tarleton State does. Now they bring out Victor Gabalis, the 6th-year quarterback with his 3rd team, like Stone Earl, 6 years, 3 teams. And Gabalis is in the gun. And they're going to go play action. Pass is going to airmail everybody. And it's going to be 2nd down and 10. And the tailback is James Page. We'll see if number 0, Trey Page III, is going to see any action today. 2nd and 10. Coach Todd Whitten of Tarleton State talked about the advantage of a 3rd-year guy, 3rd year in your system. And he has been brilliant. Again, they're going to go play action. They're going to go deep this time over the head of Peyton Kramer. And he had him, it looked like, 3rd and 10.
Definitely had him by 2 steps. Boy, just ran a go route, and the corner did not turn in time. Should have been complete.
You're the quarterback. Is Gabalis a little geeked here? He's
Yeah,
thrown
early.
2
He's
way
been
over the head of his
unusually
receivers.
inaccurate because his best thing is his accuracy, so he's going to have to get it together.
Only 1 interception for Gabalis this year. The previous 2 years, 11 interceptions thrown. 3rd down and 10 after the interception by Tarleton State. Gabalis drops back all day to throw, and it is caught and hung on to for a 1st down. Big throw and big catch. And that's going to be Bryce Parker with the 11-yard gain and a 1st and 10 for the Texans.
Didn't have any margin for error. Slots running the 10-yard out. Perfect pass, perfect catch. And the defensive back safety was right on him.
All right, so 1st and 10 for the Texans, 9-0. Best start they've had as a Division I program, which only goes back to 2020. It's a give, and this is James Page, the converted quarterback, and he's got about 4.5, maybe 5. Second down and 5 coming up. Well, sometimes games go according to script, sometimes they don't. This one, incredible. ACU's marching, and there's Tarleton State with a takeaway, and now here they come.
Yep.
Second down and 5. And this is the game plan for the Texans, and there goes James Page, breaking free. And he's going to be tackled by Dorian Plumley, but not until he's inside the Wildcat 30-yard line. It is a gain of 27 yards and a 1st and 10.
Yeah, Dorian Plumley saved a touchdown. Could have been another 25 yards for a touchdown.
And the Texans are on the move. Number 1 rushing offense in the conference. Number 1 rush defense is ACU's. Gabalis with a quick throw and very little. Good defense out there by ACU's Will Schaefer. And here you have Gabalis, the preseason Offensive Player of the Year in the UAC. And we just saw the tackle made by the preseason Defensive Player of the Year, Will Schaefer.
Yeah, stopped a possibly good screen pass for no gain.
Second down and 10. First offensive possession for Tarleton State. Gabalis surveying. And again, they'll run that little read and a slant. Oh, out of the reach of Peyton Kramer. Tyson Williams defending, and Kramer thought he got held. Good question. We'll take another look here and see. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, it could have been.
The defensive back never thinks he did.
No, I think that's a good no call. Didn't see a lot there.
So Kramer, the leading receiver for Tarleton State. What do we have here? Timeout on the field.
First charge, timeout of the half, Abilene Christian. Timeout
All
on
right,
the
so
field.
Abilene Christian with a 3rd down and 10 coming, having turned it over already. Calls timeout. Homecoming here in Abilene. No score between 2 top 25 teams. It is a battle for first place in the UAC, the FCS game of the week here in Abilene, Texas, and Tarleton State, which took away possession from ACU with an interception on the Wildcats' first drive of the game. Now the Tarletons have 3rd down and 10 on the ACU 30-yard line. Already on the edge of field goal range. I'd love to get 6. Victor Gabalis. 3rd down and 10. They converted one earlier on this drive, and this is going to be picked off. No, through the hands of Jocelyn Malaska, and he nearly returned the favor. And Jim, there may be the difference between Abilene Christian and Tarleton State. A ball to be caught by the defense. Tarleton State did, Abilene Christian didn't.
They did. It was really a good defensive play. They were playing cover 2, and the corner dropped back. Gabalis did not see on that deep out, and just should have picked it off easily. But a good defensive play.
And it does send in Corbin Poston, been splitting field goal duties with Brad Larson this year. And this is going to be a 47-yard field goal attempt for the first points of the game. It's blocked. Blocked by ACU, and the Wildcats are going to take over. Look like Cortland Rousseau. And we'll take another look. So each defense comes up big. Yeah, it was big Cortland, 95.
Yeah, right up the middle.
So special teams with
on the field.
A stop for ACU, and the Tarleton defense with a takeaway. Tickets have been tough to come by this week, in part because Tarleton State has brought a big crew from 100 miles away in Stephenville. Grant Boone, Jim Reese, Roman Raffelli, and our team. Tarleton State got a takeaway. Jocelyn Malaska nearly took it away from Tarleton, and then big Cortland Rousseau stops Corbin Poston and the Texans field goal team. And so Abilene Christian takes over on the 30-yard line, and there was a lot for Graham Harrell to like offensively, minus the last drop of that drive. They did some good things.
Yeah,
Jim.
they did some good things, running the ball well and key passes down the field. So good sign of maybe things to come for ACU.
Stone Earl with a couple of nice runs and some good throws as well. 1st and 10, and he's going to give it this time to Ravon Banks, trying to cut to the outside, and he'll get about 7 out of it, maybe 8. Ravon Banks came here as a freshman 3 years ago out of Tulsa and has been a proven performer. They give him 7.
Yeah, great bounce by Ravon, running the inside zone, didn't have anything, bounced outside, nearly broke it.
Second down and 3. In motion, that's Gibson. It's a give to Banks, cuts it upfield and can't get out of the ankle tackle of Jaden Auburn. Had a fumble recovery last week. 3rd and short.
Yeah, maybe the only, so far, 3rd down and short big play, and ACU is going to have to get a little better blocking from their front 5 plus their tight end.
In Tarleton State, just no real weaknesses. Good on both sides of the ball. Usually solid in special teams. That was the first kick they've had blocked this year, that previous field goal attempt. Let's see what Graham Harrell dials up. J.J. Henry goes in motion. It's a give, and this is a 1st down by about a half yard. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Let's send it down again to Roman Raffelli.
Hey, thanks, Grant. Last week, the Wildcats did not have a game. It was their open week, which allowed for offensive coordinator Graham Harrell to be inducted into the Texas Tech Ring of Honor. He threw for nearly 16,000 yards in his 3 years with the Red Raiders and was 4th in Heisman voting in 2008. Additionally, today marks the 17-year anniversary of the catch with Michael Crabtree, connected for a game-winning touchdown to beat #1 Texas. A huge moment there. Good to know that they've got some clutch genes on the headset on the sidelines. Guys, back to you.
Down at 10. Earl's going to go short, caught by Jed Castles, a former Texas Tech Red Raider, who I think has a 1st down, although he did turn it back up the other way. So I think they gave him 9, and it's a 2nd down and short.
Yeah, good job by our quarterback. Stone Earl killing the go route and the post route. Came back to his 3rd choice. 2nd and 1.
By the way, the Harrells are getting used to being honored because last night, Sam Harrell, Graham's dad, was honored in the ACU Sports Hall of Fame with the Lifetime Achievement Award. And what a lifetime it's been on the high school level at Ennis. Won 3 state titles. It's a give this time, cutting upfield. That is E.J. Wilson, back to the middle, 40, 35, 30. E.J. Wilson inside the red zone and inside the 10. Biggest play from scrimmage by either team so far. It's a 1st and goal for ACU, and that 3-headed monster at tailback roars.
Yeah, all 3 of them have roared at times this season. Going to be an outside zone, had to cut it back inside, and was within 1 shoestring tackle of taking it in.
The transfer from Temple in his 1st season at ACU puts the Wildcats on the doorstep here. Threatened on their 1st drive before turning it over. Now they've got it down in the tight red zone. 1st down and goal, and Wilson remains in at tailback. Earl's a threat to run or throw, especially down here. Fakes the throw to the left, rolls to his left. Earl is going to tuck it and get about 3. Good decision not to throw it.
Great decision, and he was throwing across his body. He pulled it down and was able to make 3 yards, which was an outstanding scramble by Stone.
Keith Patterson has been effusive in his praise for Stone Earl this season, but he was also not hesitant to say that was not a good game from Stone against Southern Utah.
Yeah, and Keith Patterson is going to be like any good coach, old school coach. They're going to be very honest.
2 old school coaches in this game. Todd Whitten for Tarleton State, Keith Patterson for Abilene Christian. There's a player down for Tarleton State. We'll check on him. 2nd down and goal from the 2 for Abilene Christian in a scoreless game with 1st place in the USC at stake. Gentle breeze out of the north today, and temperatures just absolutely perfect on this 1st day of November. And we got no score Second possession for Abilene Christian, each team with a key stop. Tarleton State with an interception off a dropped ball by ACU, and then the Wildcats blocked a field goal attempt. And now after E.J. Wilson had a big run for ACU, he is taking the ball down inside the 10-yard line, and a second down and goal coming up for the Wildcats trying to score first here. A rivalry that goes back to 1920. And Earl's going to go under center here. Second down and goal. It's play action. Into the end zone, wide open, caught, Jet Castles. Touchdown ACU, and the Wildcats, the defending UAC champs, score first.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best call that offensive coordinator Graham Harrell has made maybe this year. 2nd and 2. Everybody expects the run, but the quarterback is looking for the back out in the flat, had him covered, the tight end. Nobody saw him. Just a great call, great execution.
Of the hundreds of plays this year that ACU has run, 538 plays. Stone Earl's been under center 2, 3 maybe. Brandon Perez is on for the extra point out of the hold of Hugo Nash. And the extra point is good. And so ACU, after the disappointment of that dropped ball that became an interception on the first drive, comes right back on the ground from E.J. Wilson and through the air, Earl to Castles. And the transfer from Texas Tech in his 4th season at Abilene Christian has his 10th career touchdown. And Earl so far, after the disappointment against Southern Utah, looks like he's been spot on.
He does, and he's spot on because it's a mental approach, and quarterbacks know that. He knows that when he tries not to do too much, goes through his reads, he's got to trust Graham Harrell to give him good reads, just like Gabalis is doing the same thing. And so, good start for Stone Earl.
Nick Holt, the ACU co-defensive coordinator, spent time on Pete Carroll's staff at USC 20 years ago. And now Gabalis and the Texans eager to get back out there. This is a Texans team that has spent the majority of the season leading. They've only had a couple of times late in games when they've had to rally. This is a returnable kick for Tarleton State. And out about to where a touchback would have gone goes D'Angelo Rosemond. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Tarleton State at the 25. Let's take a look at some keys to the game here, Coach. Run first, ask questions later. Great running attack from Tarleton State, even without Trey Page. Attack the football. We know that they're great at taking the ball away. And for ACU, they're a different team at home than they have been on the road this year.
Yeah, they are. And I think a great key for Tarleton is that their passing game is dependent on a good run game. So their play action and bootleg comes off the run game.
It's Caleb Lewis in the game. And again, we were told that Trey Page would be a game-time decision and likely wouldn't go. We haven't seen him yet, but Lewis is terrific. So is James Page. And this is going to be Gabalis over the middle, and it is wide open, and there goes Peyton Kramer. And they may answer in one play. There is a flag down. Kramer tackled by the 10-yard line, and it's a big play.
Interesting flag.
Abilene Christian's convinced it's against Tarleton State. And we'll find out here soon enough. It was thrown, 20 yards downfield, 30 yards downfield.
And he was wide open.
Now, Will Schaefer for ACU is pointing towards Tarleton State. Is it offensive pass interference?
I think
like
so.
That?
Pass interference.
Yeah.
Offense, number 44.
Maybe that's why he was so wide open. You never know.
Maybe, but that's effectively a 65-yard
Huge.
penalty. And we'll look right down the middle.
Distance penalty, be first down.
Kramer shook free from Dorian Plumlee, and so instead of a gain of 65 yards, it's going to be a 15-yard mark-off the other way. That's an enormous play.
That's huge.
And a big call.
And it happened early in the route. You nearly would call holding, but maybe the ball was just released on that post route.
So instead of 1st and goal at the 10, it is 1st and 25. Gabalis gives, and this is Caleb Lewis for very little. Coach, it almost looks like they're in slow motion when he runs that mesh.
It does, and it also looks to me like the referee is blowing the play dead and they're just about to stop. So it's the most unusual way to do play action or run a zone of anybody I've seen in the last 10 years.
All right, so give him a couple. 2nd down and 23. And we'll see what Tarleton State calls here. It is again that zone read and firing to the near sideline. Cody Jackson has it for a gain of about 10, maybe 12. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10. Noah Mangum in coverage. And take a look at the starting defense. Romario Noel, a transfer from Oklahoma, has been outstanding, especially in the second half of the season, a big body. A transfer from Baylor, I should say, not Oklahoma. 3rd down and call it 11, trying to climb out of a 1st and 25 hole. And it is a give, and this is Caleb Lewis, breaks a tackle, and he's going to be shy of the line to gain. Tyson Williams makes the stop as they go a bit conservative, and they've got a 4th down and 4 coming up, and let's see what they opt to do here. I would imagine a punt, and it is going to be the punt unit coming out.
Yeah, maybe the most important tackle for ACU yet. Tyson Williams kept that little draw play from getting a 1st down. Just a great tackle.
Again, this is a run-first team.
Uniform change.
State
Number 9
with
is now wearing number 96 for Tarleton. Number 9
rushes,
is wearing number 96.
150 or so passing attempts. So it's 4th down and 4. And on to punt's going to be Charlie Mullen. Tyson Williams, who made the tackle, is back deep, and that's a beauty of a punt that turns over. But a flag is thrown.
Whistle blown?
If it's against ACU, then
offense.
No, it's against Tarleton
penalty.
State.
Wow.
4th down.
Well, so you think about the big plays. Well, Coach, we've played not even a full quarter. The dropped ball by Baltrop of ACU that became an interception.
Interception.
A blocked field goal by ACU. And a 65-yard gain that was nullified by an offensive pass interference call.
Yeah, 3 big plays, 3 mistakes.
And now 4th down at about 9, not quite as good of a punt. Williams has a little bit of room, fields at the 29, and squirts free for about 10. And so Tyson Williams, who made the 3rd down stop on defense, has a 10-yard, they'll give him about 8 yards officially on the return, and pretty good field position for Abilene Christian.
Yeah.
So, Coach, revenge. You tell me as a player, is it a big deal? Can it be too much? Because Tarleton State, on their field last year, lost in the final seconds to Abilene Christian for the conference title.
Yeah, it is a big deal, but it can be too much of a deal, and revenge helps defenses play better, but really messes you up offensively because you got to be relaxed and playing without pressure, and so I'm not a big fan. Most coaches aren't of revenge.
All right, so in motion comes Baltrop. Earl takes the snap. It's a give, and breaking free Banks. He's got some room to the 50, and ACU has the dominant running attack of the 2 so far. 1st and 10 at the 43, and that is a gain of 20 yards for Banks.
Yeah, just a simple stretch play. He was going to give it the whole way and nearly broke it again all the way.
All right, Abilene Christian has been dominant on the ground so far. E.J. Wilson with a big run down to the 5-yard line, and now that breaker from Banks. Quick throw, caught by Baltrop, stays on his feet, and he'll have about 3. Yeah. So he makes the one that was way out away from him, and isn't that how it goes? And on the one he dropped, you could tell that was a guy that was ready to cut it upfield, and you see it on every level. Baltrop wanted to catch it and go, and first things first, you got to catch it.
Yeah, everybody knew it. He knew it more than anybody.
Yeah,
Offensive coaches did not have to say a word to him.
Probably not, although I imagine there were a couple.
They did.
2nd down and 7. ACU has responded, though, since that early mistake. Earl is going to give it. Upfield, Banks again, and more room to run. Rovon Banks for the blocker, Dudley. Rovon Banks to the house from 40. And ACU scores.
Ran the same play they did just a minute ago, the outside zone, and cut it back inside, and superior blocking by that offensive line for ACU.
And the sellout crowd loves what they see here at Wildcat Stadium, except for those who've come from Stephenville. They're a bit shell-shocked. Even with that first drive turnover, ACU is an extra point away from a 14-0 lead. Extra point from Brandon Perez is en route and good. Inside the final minute of the first quarter. Another look here. You think about the big one he broke for 20 to start the possession, and the little shimmy, and breaks out of that ankle tackle. One more look here. So there you go. Ravon Banks and ACU 14-0. Tarleton State did trail by 2 scores to Army back in the second game of the season on the road against the Black Knights of the Hudson. That was with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They came back and won it in overtime memorably on a Brad Larson field goal. Double overtime, in fact. So it's not the first time they trailed by a couple of scores, but this has got to be a bit of a shock to the system.
Yeah, a little bit. They're really tough, mentally tough. Tarleton is, so you know they're going to come back, and coaches are not sweating yet, but you got to think that everybody on their sideline for Tarleton is a little bit surprised, and they're doing a bit of encouragement to their defensive people.
We talked about play keep away as one of the keys to the game. That has double meaning. Number one, for Abilene Christian, don't turn the ball over. They've done that once. But hang on to the ball, extend drives, and they've done that so far in 3 possessions. It's going to be a give this time. Again, I believe, to Caleb Lewis for no gain. And that ACU run defense, which is the best in the conference, looks like it so far. Again, no Trey Page so far.
That's right.
Got to point that out.
And usually I don't place a lot of stock in time of possession, but in this game with Tarleton's offense, it becomes a key stat.
Second down and 10. Remember the big 65-yard gain wiped out because of penalty on the last possession for Tarleton State. Gabalis, play action, gonna go deep again, one-on-one coverage. Malaska knocks it away. Singled up over there with Marquise Willis, and it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, when ACU is singling up press coverage, you know he doesn't have any help. That means there's one extra, maybe one safety or 2 safeties that can help with the running game, which may be one of the reasons that ACU is playing the run so well.
Todd Whitten in his 16th season as the head coach at Tarleton State, 3rd different stint. This is his 10th year back, and he's guided them from Division II to Division I, and he's done it brilliantly. Tight end in motion. ACU sends pressure. Gabalis is going to be brought down for a sack, and it's Rashawn Miles Jr. who does the damage, and they forced another Texans punt.
Yeah, ACU has been playing cover 2 or cover 2 man on 3rd and long. That time they went to man free, 1 safety back. Everybody else man to man, and they had a linebacker on that back coming out of the backfield.
14-0 in this battle for the UAC. Another Tarleton State punt. Charlie Mullen is on, gets the high snap, and that's not his best. No. It's out of bounds. It's going to be 1st and 10 for ACU on the Tarleton State side of the field. While we have a sec, back we go to Roman.
Hey, thanks, guys. Wildcats up 14-0 on homecoming here at Anthony Field. And, well, they've got a 9-2 record on homecoming since moving to the D1 level 11 seasons ago. In addition to that, head coach Keith Patterson is 15-4 at this field as the head coach of ACU. A great home record, a great home mindset, and it's working out so far today.
And for Stone Earl, who's coming off his worst game of the season, he has been spot on. And great field position for the Wildcats here. 1st and 10 from the Tarleton State 45-yard line. Eddie Henry goes in motion. Handoff to Banks. He's got a couple. And it's second down and only one officially, so 2nd and 9.
Yeah, good stop by the front 7 for Tarleton, and nice tackle by that outside linebacker.
So Banks, who had the 40-yard touchdown run previously, E.J. Wilson's hit one for 45 that set up the first touchdown for ACU. And the Wildcats will send J.B. Mitchell out to the top of the rotation. Here's a pass that's wide of J.J. Henry, and that one was fortunate to hit the dirt for ACU. And it's going to bring up 3rd down and 9. So ACU with a chance here. Great field position.
Yeah.
You've got the #1 team in the conference. You've got the 2nd-ranked team in the country. And no lead is safe. You don't feel like that, is it?
It's not, especially against Tarleton.
3rd down and 9. Earl says, hang on. Let's double check here. Banks is his tailback. And Tarleton State looking to take the ball away and go the other way. They've had a couple of defensive scores this year. Earl goes screen, caught by Gibson, but he can't break free from a tackle. He got a couple, and the question is now 4th down and 6. Do you try to pin them deep, or do you try to go for it here?
Yeah, I think if you're ACU, you play your lead and you try to pin them deep and fit it in 4th and 1. I see them going for it. An unusual call on 3rd down, jailbreak screen, inside bubble screen. Tends not to work on 3rd down. Good job by linebacker stopping it.
Hugo Nash is in for his first punt attempt of the game. Tarleton State sends Blake Smith back deep. Hugo wants some air under this one. Little too much, and ACU may have gotten a little too close. So they pick up about 30-plus yards there. 1st and 10 for Tarleton State. They've got the ball back, down 14-zip. Homecoming at ACU. And as you heard from Roman, Wildcats have had success on homecoming games. Not always easy, is it, Jim? Because you got a lot of distractions going on. Keith Patterson talking about this week.
Yeah, I think the thing maybe that helped ACU the most is that they've had an open week with an extra week to prepare. 1 week to get ready for homecoming. You got to be mentally mature, and sometimes it's hard for 20-year-olds to do that.
Of course, in the case of Victor Gabalis, maturity is not the problem. 6th year starter. He was at Washington State. He's a native of Duvall, Washington, and went to Utah Tech for a year, now in his 3rd season at Tarleton State. Preseason Offensive Player of the Year, and he might be the Player of the Year by the time this thing's all said and done. He's had a terrific season, but he begins this drive down 14-0, and he's going to give it to Caleb Lewis, who's trying to cut upfield and can't do it. Very little. Jim, 40 yards rushing for Tarleton State. It looks so far like they do miss Trey Page, but a great start defensively for ACU.
Yeah, that's just a huge stat. Just all of us are surprised. Tried to run a stretch, and I watched all 4 of the defensive linemen at ACU. None of them got blocked there. So just a really good push, good intensity by the front 4.
Well, you know for a fact that this defense is all aware of the vaunted offense of Tarleton State, and that's a great catch in traffic by Peyton Kramer over the middle. It's a 1st and 10 for Tarleton State.
Yeah, great execution. Their best slant wide receiver on this side, split in, faked the zone, ran the slant.
Leaping catch from Kramer, their leading receiver, and again they're going to go with a zone read, and that's Zion Fanua with a quick tackle on Lewis, and it's a minimal gain, 2nd and 9.
Nearly every play Tarleton State uses is off that zone fake, zone read.
Take a look at the impact players for both teams. Gabalis we know about, Peyton Kramer, we just saw them hook up. Kagan Roach, the D lineman, and Rashawn Miles, Jim, he leads the nation in fumble recoveries with 4.
He's been all over the field. He leads fumbles, recoveries, and usually leads ACU in tackles as well.
Had a sack earlier in this game. 2nd down and 9, Gabalis from the gun. It's deflected, I thought, but caught, and that's going to be a 1st down. And that's Cody Jackson for about 11 and a 1st and 10 at the 38. Jim, big stop by the Tarleton State defense after ACU took over at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, it could have been 21-0, so coming back, running an option route in the hole between linebackers.
Early 2nd quarter, 14-0 in favor of ACU. Victor Gabalis Again, they go with the zone read. He's going to fire it again, and this one's caught again. And Cody Jackson caught it, bobbled it, but regained it. But I think enough to move him back shy of the line to gain. Let's see where they mark him. At about the 47 of Abilene Christian. I think he had the first, and then trying to secure it, he may have lost a half yard.
I think that was a good call. Got 1 foot in after he got the bobble back.
And here is Tarleton State. And we got a whistle.
The previous play of a complete catch.
So we got a replay review.
Timeout on the field.
And we've got a timeout on the field. 14-0 Abilene Christian, but Tarleton State with a couple of first downs, and Keith Patterson trying to keep his team unbeaten here at home. Jeremy Tate, the referee in this game, along with the back judge, David Prather, taking a look at that bobble. Corey Collister, the replay communicator. A buzz down to the sideline. Wes Burge is the replay official. So you saw it come out. Did he ever completely secure it? When does he have it? Does he have it there? It looks to me like the foot is still in bounds. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought that left foot got in bounds by the time he secured it. I would think they're not going to overturn it.
And again, you've got to see enough.
After review, the receiver got his left foot down by maintaining possession of the ball through the ground. This is a first down at the 48-yard line.
All right, so not only did they confirm it's a catch, they say he got enough for the first down. So one more look here, Malaska in coverage for Abilene Christian. Harold West, you see number 27. His brother Trayvon West is a wide receiver for Tarleton State. So a little brotherly love on display here. These two teams know each other so well. Go back to 1920, just less than 100 miles apart. And a 1st and 10 for Tarleton State, trying to climb out of a 14-0 hole, and Caleb Lewis will have about 2 yards. And again, no Trey Page III today. A lower body injury sustained last week in the win on the road at Eastern Kentucky. You noted in the opening that they've got terrific running backs, but they miss him clearly. 2nd down and 8. Ball at the midfield stripe, and Keith Patterson, co-defensive coordinator, along with Nick Holt, as well as the head coach. In motion, that's Cody Jackson, and he's got it on the end around. He's going to have about 5. It'll bring up a 3rd and 3. Another look here. Little jet sweep.
Yeah, jet sweep, good speed, kept him away from that outside backer. The outside backer thought he had him.
Tarleton State on its first possession. 1st and 10. About the 30-yard line. Had to settle for a field goal attempt. It was blocked by Cortland Rousseau of ACU. Now the Tarleton State Texans looking for their first points here early second quarter. Gabalis is going to throw it. It's caught, and that's the reason why Peyton Kramer is their leading receiver in traffic, brings it in against Tyson Williams, and they'll move the chains.
Yeah, great pitch and catch. I think Tyson Williams knew it was coming, thought he got there in time, but just a perfect throw.
Gabalis and the Texans keep it moving from inside their own 15-yard line where the drive began. And again, they'll go play action. Wide open Kramer inside the red zone, and the best depth on a drive in this game for Tarleton State. 1st and 10 at the 15, a gain of 23.
Yeah, great route. Slot receiver just ran a digger inside square in. Quarterback Gabalis hit him right on stride.
So Kramer with the tough catch early in the drive on 3rd down. Now sets them up 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 14. Gabalis is going to throw it again into the end zone. Just wanted to get rid of it and avoid the sack, which he does. And overthrows Cody Jackson in the end zone. 2nd and 10. Lived to fight another play there.
Yeah, that's a great throwaway. It was close enough, and you could tell he couldn't find anybody open. Good coverage.
Clock stops with 9:04 to go. Another look there. And that was avoiding the sack. And that's the advantage of a 3rd-year quarterback. Knows when to hold him and when to fold him. ACU puts 9 in the box. Gabalis throws the slant. It's knocked out of the hands of the intended receiver, Tierre Young, and that was Noah Mangum in coverage who dislodged it.
Yeah, great job getting there, Noah, right as the ball got there in the breadbasket. Should have caught it, but a great breakup.
Mangum had an interception taken down to the goal line against Southern Utah with the Wildcats leading in the 4th quarter 2 weeks ago. That was called back because of an offsides penalty against ACU, and then Southern Utah hit a big run and went on to upset the Wildcats. It's why the ACU has one loss in the conference instead of this being a matchup of conference
Second
opponents
charge, timeout of the half.
Who are
Abilene
unbeaten.
Christian. Timeout
But the
on
winner
field.
today is in the driver's seat for the conference title, and right now it's ACU by 2 scores. Yeah, the homecoming parade earlier today down Campus Court here in Abilene, Texas. How about Hayes Harris? Again, ready to go. Yeah, he's fired up. So are the ACU fans. Hayes, the son of our producer Hutton Harris. And did they go shirtless when you were playing for ACU back at Shotwell Stadium?
Never.
No. Probably against the ACU dress code back then.
Yeah, lots of things were against the ACU dress code.
Yes,
back
they
then.
were.
Yeah.
Well, the Wildcats have shut out the Texans so far, but Tarleton State driving an enormous 3rd down and 10 here. You think if they gain some, even if they don't get it all, they might go for it. Let's see what happens. Victor Gabalis protected the ball so well all season. Pressure coming. Gabalis flushed out of the pocket. On the run, trying to make something happen. Turns upfield, tiptoes for about 5. And let's see what Todd Whitten and the Texans do here. They've got 4th down and 5, down 14, midway through the 2nd quarter.
Would not be totally shocked if they went for it here.
Big Cortland Rousseau chasing Gabalis. They're going to stay on the field, the offense. And after having a field goal blocked earlier, Whitten sends in his tight end Dawson Hearn. Again, this is a top level rushing offense, and they'll go Wildcat often, as they look like they're going to do here with Caleb Lewis. No, they're going to go Gabalis. He's going to throw it over the middle. Caught. Kramer, touchdown. Big conversion for Tarleton State. On 4th and 5, they're on the board. And Kramer, from start of the drive to finish, puts Tarleton.
He was the star.
Another look here. And again, time to throw for Gabalis.
Yeah, slot receiver just finding the hole in the zone, and ACU got to get there quicker if you're an ACU coach, with great execution by Tarleton State.
17th touchdown thrown, 77th of his career, but 17th this year against only one interception. Extra point from Brad Larson is on the way, and it is good. And Tarleton State answers with one of their biggest drives of the season, and I would argue it goes back to the 3 and out they forced when ACU took over at their 45. One more look again. That was Harold West, who was in coverage on Kramer. Kramer shook free, and the Texans are back within a score. They're going to get the ball to start the second half, and so with 8:12 to play in the second quarter, a lot of time left to play here before halftime. We're in November, Jim, and you're battling for first. Every possession feels enormous at this point.
Every possession, and if you're Tarleton, you've got to think now, if we had not gotten that going into halftime, maybe 14-0 down, 14-7 is a totally different feel, and they still have a chance to come back and tie the game, depending on ACU's job here on offense. So huge drive, huge completion for a touchdown.
And again, Gabalis' ability to get 5 yards on that broken play was huge. Here comes ACU with J.J. Henry, trying to cut it to the left, and a flag comes in, and ACU's going to begin inside its own 15-yard line. It would appear, thrown by the referee Jeremy Tate. It's been a game of big plays, big mistakes by each team. Tarleton State had a 65-yard gain, nullified by an offensive pass interference call.
Yeah, maybe the biggest mistake ACU has made this half, because it would have been
During the return, holding receiving team number 21.
26.
It's a half the distance penalty. It'll be first down, Abilene Christian.
6-yard line.
ACU has one turnover in the game. It was on their first drive, a ball that went off the chest of Radrian Baldrick, the wide receiver, and picked off by Devin Sterling of Tarleton State. So here's another look, and you see Henry returning it for ACU, and what could have been the infraction against ACU. Mark the ball at the 8. ACU's had some long drives this year that have gone 90-plus yards. Now they'll start this one 92 yards from the end zone with E.J. Wilson in the backfield with the quarterback. Stone Earl has been terrific in this game so far. Earl's going to tuck and run, try to get to the outside, and he'll do well just to get a yard to the 9. And again, at this part of the field, it feels even more important for any team to protect the football even harder against a team like Tarleton State.
Yeah, even harder. And Tarleton State's playing 7 in the box. They're looking for that quarterback draw. Stone Earl lucky to get one.
Second down and 9. As the sun breaks through the clouds here on just a picture-perfect day, just after 4 o'clock local time. Earl with his own read. He's going to keep it, and he's going to hang on to the football but go down for a sack as he was running for his life the entire play. A loss of 2 and a third down and 11 coming up.
Yeah, I think Stone Earl knew as soon as he pulled it, it was a misread, and a great job by the defensive end and outside linebacker. Should have given it on the inside zone.
Yasir Holmes, sure-handed, slowing up Earl until help could come. So they forced a 3 and out on the previous possession, trying to do it again, this time with ACU pinned deep. Earl on a third down and 11, drops straight back, time to throw, goes downfield, going for Baldrick, he catches and then drops it. 2 massive drops by Baldrick. And ACU's gonna have to punt it away, and he's hearing it from the Tarleton State defense. Baldrick would do well just to head back to the sideline at this point. Radrian Baldrick had one bounce off his chest, and that one would have been a massive first down.
Yeah, 2 big drops. That one defense is playing. Tarleton State's playing man with a free safety. Really good seam route around that safety, covering man-to-man. Should have caught, dropped it.
And Baldrick is being consoled on the sidelines. He's really hot, mad that he dropped it, and mad about whatever he heard from Tarleton State. This is going to be a punt that's going to get a big ACU bounce, and it's going to add about 15 more yards, and at the very least, Hugo Nash will flip the field from his own 7 to the 35-yard line of Tarleton State. The Texans trail, but it feels like the game has flipped a little bit in terms of the vibe.
Yeah, the old momentum is definitely moving toward the Texans' favor.
Here's the Hannaford scoring drive. 87 yards in 13 plays, took 5+ minutes off the clock. And now, after forcing a pair of 3-and-outs, Tarleton State can tie this game on this possession with 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. And now the pressure shifts back to the ACU defense. First and 10 from the 35. And Gabalis is going to pick it up and throw it. He's got Kramer again. Can't bring it in. Tyson Williams singled up with Kramer. Kramer's won a lot of those battles. And now they're exchanging kind of their quick recap of what just happened.
I think Gabalis has thrown 5 or 6 against a press man coverage of the best go routes I've seen. It's just been perfect. He is as accurate as advertised and maybe more so.
Second down and 10. It's Chris Wright standing up for ACU on the defensive end. Gabalis straight drop, fires it right side. Kramer again, maybe a half-yard shy of the line to gain. It is going to be, third down at about half a yard.
Yeah, I think Kramer, if you're an ACU defensive coach, you probably put 2 on him. ACU has not stopped him yet.
Third and short, they go in a hurry here. Gabalis is going to give it, and a breaking free. It's going to be a touchdown. Race to the end zone, and Plumlee is going to bring down James Page, but not until Page gives Tarleton State a first down at the 22.
Yeah, great tackle by Plumlee. Touchdown-saving tackle. Looked to both of us up here that he was going to go all the way. Great tackle to stop him.
First and 10 at the Wildcat 22. Texans on the march again. It's a give again to Page, and he's got about 3.5. And now the Tarleton State run game helped by some of Gabalis to Kramer through the air.
Yeah, and the offensive line, either they're finding a new scheme, which I doubt. They're just starting to get control of that defensive front 6.
34-yard scamper from James Page, the converted quarterback. And now second down and 7, just inside the red zone. Kramer goes in motion. Gabalis is going to throw it over the middle, a little wide. He had his receiver open, Cody Jackson, in coverage with Malaska. Third down and 7 coming up for the Texans.
Yeah, great route, another great slant. Again, maybe the 10th time they've tried to throw that. If you're an ACU secondary coach, you're wondering why those corners cannot take away the inside cut. There's got to be a way they do that and have not done a good job. Tarleton has been great with the slants all first half.
Third down and 7 from the ACU 19-yard line. They converted a 4th and 5 into a touchdown on the previous possession. Gabalis is going to throw it. Pressure coming over or off the hands of Lewis, and Lewis wisely realized it could have been a lateral, but and went and chased it, but the official said incomplete, and it's going to bring in the field goal unit for Tarleton State. The Wildcat defense forces a field goal.
Yeah, maybe Gabalis' only questionable throw had a slip screen and needed a little air, nice and easy. I think they would have had a first down, had 2 blockers in front.
Brad Larson is a great story. He was the hero kicking the game-winning field goal to beat Army. He was already a hero. He beat childhood leukemia, raised a lot of money for childhood cancer, and his field goal here is good. And Tarleton State has scored the last 10 after ACU scored the first 14. And we said during the commercial, after ACU into the first quarter up 14-0, that there was a lot of time to play, and he just gets it inside that right upright. We knew there was a lot of time to play in Tarleton State. It's not 9-0. Not 9-0 for no reason.
No, and there's a really good counterpunch this whole second quarter to ACU's defense, and Tarleton State's defense has found a way to slow down ACU's offense. So right where kind of we thought it would be close to halftime.
If you're Abilene Christian offensively and you're Graham Harrell, you've got to be excited about a lot. You think about 2 balls that were there to be caught. One on the first drive that wound up being intercepted off the chest of one of your receivers, and then a 3rd down and 11 that was caught and then dropped by that same receiver. And so as good as it's been scoring 14 points, it could have been better for Graham Harrell.
Yeah, and I think Graham and Coach KP, Coach Patterson for sure is saying this is, again, a great kind of old school. If it touches it, you should have caught it, and both times the ACU receivers should have caught the ball.
So here come the Wildcats, and Earl, who is 5 of 8 for 34 yards with a touchdown and an interception. And again, the interception was right into the chest of his receiver. But the running game for ACU, 149 yards rushing so far. Big gains from E.J. Wilson and Ravon Banks. 1st and 10, big drive for the Wildcats. They tuck it, pass over the middle, caught by the tight end, Jed Castles. He's close to the 1st down. They say move the chains, and they do. 1st and 10 for ACU. Castles has been an early target.
Early target, maybe the best call for ACU. 1st and 10, run a bootleg, look for Castles, just a simple drag, 8-10-yard drag across the middle.
That's the 5th catch for Castles, 36 yards, has a touchdown among those 5 receptions. Earl takes the snap. It's a give, and this is Banks. He's been solid so far. He's got 6 here, and I think he had 5 before he was touched.
He did. And ACU's offensive line is showing some power against a really good defensive front, inside zone for 6.
So now over 150 yards rushing with an average of more than 9 per carry for ACU so far. 2nd down and 4 with 3:55 to go. The dream scenario for ACU here is to not only score but use up the majority of this 3 minutes and change. 2nd and 4, and Earl wants to throw over the middle, caught and dropped. J.J. Henry, it was a high pass, but Henry had it in both hands, and that's at least the 3rd drop by the Wildcat receivers. Another look.
Yeah, not a great pass, but I think it's a catchable ball.
Says the former quarterback.
Yeah.
3rd down and 4, and Tarleton State trying to get this Wildcat offense off the field again after forcing a couple of 3-and-outs on their previous 2 possessions. Henry comes in motion. 3rd down and 4. Earl is looking to throw. Plants his feet over the middle. It is nearly intercepted. Intended for J.B. Mitchell. And the ACU punt team is on again, and Earl fortunate that that one wasn't picked.
Yeah, his only bad pass, bad decision. Stone Earl of the game. While the defensive back was in front of that deep end cut and should have been intercepted.
Not just any defensive back. That's Cassius Kearns, who leads the nation with 5 interceptions. And it was J.B. Mitchell who effectively was playing defensive back on that play. Nash on 4th down is going to punt it away, a wobbler, and fielded at the 18-yard line. So ACU with a little life offensively before having to punt it away, and now Tarleton State is going to have a chance here to take its first lead of the game. The ball back, having scored the last 10.
Yeah, first, I think if you were a predictor of the game, you're a little surprised that the number 1 offense and defense really in our area region is behind, and you got to feel good about ACU's defensive performance. Just been really good slowing them down, even though Tarleton's offense is gaining some momentum.
Tarleton State is averaging 45 points per game and allowing just 16.
Yeah.
They have shut ACU down for the last 3 possessions. And they've been dominant in the 2nd and 3rd quarters this season. They've been great again in the 2nd quarter today. And here's a handoff. Caleb Lewis kicks to the outside, and he'll get about 3, maybe 4, out to the 22-yard line. It is 4. And the clock moves with 3:15 to play in the first half. Again, Tarleton gets the ball to start the 2nd.
And Tarleton would like to run the clock out or come down at least for a field goal attempt. ACU would like one more chance.
Amazing. 4 turnovers in 9+ games for Tarleton State. Only 4 giveaways.
Unbelievable.
Gabalis is going to throw it, or try to. Now he's going to tuck it and run in the left arm. Tries to elude the tackle, can't. And again, that's Rashawn Miles Jr. coming up to make the stop. Maybe a half-yard gain. 3rd down and about 5.
Yeah, it could have been a coverage sack. Gabalis put it down for a good reason, but also makes you know why he's not a scrambling quarterback. Just a great tackle by Miles.
Whose dad, Rashawn Sr., was a running back for Abilene Christian 20 years ago, and Rashawn with an open field tackle that probably saved a 1st down. So a 3rd down and 5 coming up. Got to get to the 28-yard line. Gabalis is going to throw it. Looking right, fires that way. It is caught in traffic out near midfield, and Dorian Plumley thought he had an interception. Instead, it's a 1st and 10 at the 48.
Yeah, if you're Tarleton, that's a great throw. ACU had a corner. They're all playing 2-man, and the safety should have been there too. So, boy, great completion. Probably bad execution by ACU's defense.
And Tarleton State converts another 3rd down. It's the 2-minute timeout. Back to Abilene in a moment. At homecoming for ACU, the Wildcats on top by 4. Playing for first place in the United Athletic Conference. Tarleton State, number 2 in the nation, 9-0. Abilene Christian hanging on toward the bottom of the top 25 after a disappointing defeat 2 weeks ago. Off week last week for ACU. They came out, scored the first 14 points of the game, but Victor Gabalis and the Tarleton State Texans have just converted another 1st down, that one to Cody Jackson. And now it's 1st and 10 near midfield for the Texans with 2 minutes to play in the 1st half. And Tarleton State will get the ball to start the 2nd half. So good start for ACU, good answer by the Texans. And we'll see if they can continue that response. 1st and 10. Chris Wright looked like he was lined up in the neutral zone. Gabalis is going to throw it. It is caught and dropped. Bryce Parker couldn't hang on to it down the seam. That looked like it was on the money.
Yeah, another great throw. It looked like ACU was playing man-free, then they dropped to just traditional cover 3 zone, and Gabalis finding that seam wide open, should have caught it.
When the receiver hits himself in the head with his fist in the helmet, that generally is the giveaway that he should have caught it. 2nd and 10. ACU looking for a stop. Tarleton State scored on its last 2 possessions. Here's a little handoff to Caleb Lewis for about 4. And another 3rd down coming up for the Texans. They've converted their last several.
Yeah, it's interesting that ACU has chosen to cover and not rush, not blitz. Probably smart. If you blitz against Gabalis, you're going to usually die by that blitz, and he'll hurt you. So interesting to see what ACU dials up here on 3rd down.
Tarleton State, their highest ranking ever. And they're trying to finish off their road record at 6-0. ACU's trying to stay unbeaten at home, so something has to give here. 3rd down and 6. Tight end in motion. Gabalis against a 4-man rush. Pressure coming. Eludes it. Now he's going to go down for a sack, and Chris Wright was the one to bring him down at midfield. It's 4th down and 8 coming up.
Yeah, just rushed 4 ACU. You got to say that's a coverage sack. Outstanding coverage down the field. Nowhere for Gabalis to throw.
And the pocket collapsed. And Courtland Rousseau is not going to get credit for anything really there, but he helped collapse the pocket.
Yes, he did.
And ACU calls a timeout with 1:03 to go. And now it's the Wildcats who are trying to play that 2-minute game. 63 seconds to play, and the punt team coming out for Tarleton State. This has been a game of momentum so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, just 2 really good teams slugging it out. It seems like ACU had the momentum 1st quarter. Tarleton took it away 2nd quarter. I think both of us figured there'd be 21 to 28 points scored by both teams in the 1st half, so a little bit surprising.
This is an ACU team that's averaging 40-plus points per game here at home this year, and they've played some good teams. Stephen F. Austin here, Austin Peay. And now Mullen is on to punt it. Tyson Williams is back deep. Clean exchange. Williams is going to let it bounce, and it's a good bounce for Tarleton State. And it's going to be 1st and 10. So from the 10-yard line, you got one timeout if you're Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator in his first year for ACU. What do you do here?
Yeah, I think you're conservative and pick your best run. If you break it or get a first down or two and call a timeout, then you try something down the field. But I think he's thinking, really be careful here because you don't want to become too aggressive, force a turnover, backfires against ACU.
You got the team that is twice as good as any other in the nation in turnover margin. 29 takeaways plus 25. They're looking to take one away from the Wildcats here. 1st and 10 from their own 10. Stone Earl, the 6th-year senior quarterback. He's going to give it to E.J. Wilson. Nowhere to go for E.J., and we'll see if Tarleton State wants to use some timeouts here. They will. So you called it little conservative. That would have been interesting if Earl would have kept that one on the mesh.
I think he might have missed that read, I do. And on that stretch play, you get a couple of yards, at least you go positive now. You're second and 12, and it's on the 8-yard line. Kind of a dilemma for ACU on trying to figure out how to get first down.
Thank you.
So Tarleton State, talking to Todd Whitten this week, interesting because when you were playing back when these two teams were in the NAIA days, if you didn't win your conference, you didn't go to the playoffs. And in this day and age, with 24 teams going to the FCS playoffs, he was already talking about the postseason. 9 wins. We're 9-0. I thought it was interesting. It wasn't, we got to win the conference. Certainly that is the goal.
Yeah, it's a different scenario.
But he knows they're in.
He does.
As they were last year when they beat Drake in the first round and then lost in the second round, as ACU did. 50 seconds to go in the half. 2nd down and about a dozen. And Earl looks like he's going to throw it over the middle, and he airmails the intended receiver, Dallas Dudley. He had him, and now they stop the clock with the incompletion. And that's a big play on it for a couple of reasons. If Dudley catches it, he might still be going.
Yeah, Dudley ran a great deep dig or square in. It was wide open, and Stone's maybe second really bad throw just flew it over his head by 5 or 10 yards.
All right, 2 timeouts left for the Texans. 3rd down and a dozen for ACU. In the shadow of their own goal line. Earl looks like he wants to throw. Dancing in the end zone, tucks it. He's got one blocker out there. He uses him, bounces off, but not enough for the line to gain. And that first down loss of 2 ultimately stymies this drive.
Right. Yeah.
And Tarleton State uses its 2nd timeout. The Wildcats will have to punt.
Yeah, 1 first down is huge for ACU. You can run out the clock even if you don't have good field position. And now punting to a really good offense. Punt coverage has got to be good. Tarleton's wanting to get it close to the 50.
So Hugo Nash and the Wildcat punt team will come out after this timeout. For ACU, we talk about Tarleton State likely having already clinched a playoff spot, obviously wanting to win the conference. You always love to hang those banners. For Abilene Christian, with the loss 2 weeks ago to Southern Utah, they had the off week last week, they are out of wiggle room. If they lose this game, it would be the 5th loss. And yes, 2 of them were to FBS teams, and one, if it were to come to Tarleton today, would all be acceptable losses, but they lost at Incarnate Word. They lost at Southern Utah, 2 teams below 500. It's must win every week, isn't it?
Yeah,
really,
I think
for
so.
ACU?
No question. You got to win out.
Gotten off to a good start here against the conference leaders. Nash with a clean catch. That bullet fielded by Blake Smith. And it's going to be a chance here with 28 seconds to go and a timeout. And remember, because we're inside 2 minutes, if a player goes out of bounds, the clock will stop and stay stopped. You've got the first down marker stopping play as well briefly.
Yeah, maybe a huge punt by Nash with a fair catch. At least you're making it difficult if you're an ACU fan. got to get 30 yards to get into field goal range, and not a lot of time.
That was a 47-yard punt, which is fine, but no return, which is even better if you're an ACU fan. And now Gabalis, they have not led in this game, but they've got a chance to get some points here with 28 seconds to go. From the gun, play action, all day to throw, and it is knocked away at the last moment, and that was Harold West who dislodged the ball from Peyton Kramer, and West, whose brother Trayvon was running a different route for Tarleton State, gets the stop.
That was a great breakup. I've never seen Kramer drop a ball, and I wouldn't say that's a drop. That's just a great breakup. Wow.
Yeah, so that's Rashawn Miles Jr., who was in coverage, but it was West who came from his safety position to knock it away. Clock stopped, 20 seconds to go. In the half, 2nd and 10 from their own 36. Gabalis is going to throw again. Over the middle, dumps it down to Caleb Lewis. Shy of the line to gain, I think. No, they're going to stop it. And they say move, so they stop it briefly to move the chains. Tarleton State can take, well, they can keep their last time out. The clock never stopped that I noticed. Now they clock it with Gabalis. They said move the chains, but I don't think they ever stopped the clock. There should be an extra 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah, nobody's asking a question, and leaves 6 seconds left.
So you got time for the Hail Mary, and they bring in a couple of extra receivers, including Reginald Harden.
It's tough to get a deep out in 5 seconds to give them a chance to kick a field goal.
And I think this is, barring a defensive penalty, it's the last play of the half. And ACU retreats. Gabalis drops back against a 3-man rush. He's going to heave it downfield. He's got the arm. It's into the end zone, and it is intercepted. And coming the other way is ACU's D'Angelo Ponder. He's going to get to the outside, pressure coming from behind him in Harden. And that's how the first half will end, with just the second interception thrown this season by Victor Gabalis and a 60-yard return by Ponder, which
this is the end of the second quarter. It's halftime.
To no points, but one more look here. What a heave from Gabalis and Ponder. I think wisely, why not, right? Why not try to run it out?
Why not? Last play of the half, and he got close to nearly breaking it for a 100-yard return.
I think that's the first play Reginald Harden has been on the field for Tarleton State, and he might have saved a pick six.
Yeah.
First half ends with Abilene Christian in front, 14-10. Back to Abilene in a moment.
To 10 here in the packed out Wildcat Stadium. Hey everybody, I'm Zion Webb alongside Jaden West. Man, Jaden, we talked about how this is the FCS game of the week. Certainly it seems like it. What have you seen?
Yeah, absolutely. Both these two teams playing really similar as far as stats are concerned. First quarter, it was all the Wildcats. ACU really got off to a great start. Blocked that field goal. That was a huge momentum shift. They took that momentum and were able to go down and score. Their defense came up big. In the second quarter, Tarleton State stuck to their game that they do all season long. They're really good in the middle two quarters, quarters 2 and quarters 3, and they did that really well tonight once again.
Yeah, we saw the Wildcats jump out here early in this game. Hey, we'll take a look at the first half stats here. Obviously, like I said, the Wildcats came out big. The Tarleton State just seemed like they started to get hot in that second quarter. Jaden, what'd you see from Tarleton State coming out big then in the second quarter?
Yeah, they really started attacking the middle of the field. They saw that the ACU defense was spread out wide. You know, they run that slow RPO walk style of offense, kind of like Wake Forest does here at the FCS level. It's been effective for them all season long. They found guys, playmakers in space over the middle of the field, and it started to work for them in that second quarter. ACU defense is going to have to find a way to stop that going on.
Yeah, look, hey, it seems like the Wildcats, every single time something big was going on with Tarleton State, they were able to lessen the bleed, and it's kind of keeping them in this game. What have you seen from the Wildcat defense?
Yeah, they're doing a really good job stopping the run, something that Tarleton State's been really great at this season, but they got to be better in the secondary. It was a nice forced that turnover there at the end whenever they heaved the Hail Mary down the field to end the half. Would have been cool if they returned that back for a touchdown, but we sit here with a really great game.
Hey, two of the best quarterbacks here in the UAC. We can see what they've done here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Gabales, great to have him back if you're a Tarleton State fan. Great to have him at the center of this offense. They looked fine without him, but he's really come up big in this game. They haven't ran the ball that effectively. It's really been all Gabales. And for Stone Earl, he threw that early interception in the early in the first quarter, but since then he's been really solid for the Wildcats. Need to see him continue to hit his receivers in space.
Yeah, sometimes we kind of think that freaking interception should sometimes be both players' stat, because kind of it seemed like J.J. Henry dropped the ball and Stone Earl threw a good ball there. So obviously kind of moving into the second half of this game, we saw obviously the defense play up big. The Wildcats started early pretty good. How can they get back to that identity here in the second half?
Yeah, absolutely. I think on offense, they need to stick to the run. That's what they're doing really good. And they've got to convert on third down. They're one of the best teams, actually the best team in the conference at converting on third down, usually at a 50% rate for the season, but tonight just 1 for 5 on third down. Not good enough to beat the number 2 ranked Texans.
Hey, just last week I talked to kind of ACU offensive coordinator Graham Harrell about his time here so far at ACU. All the accolades, the titles, quarterback, he won a Super Bowl there. He also was a Texas Tech All-American, all the type of titles. Like I said, Jaden, we'll send it over to that message with Graham Harrell.
Coach, so obviously your family has some deep ties at ACU. Tell me about the excitement, getting the call to be able to come back here.
Yeah, I was really the last member of the family to come to ACU. Both my parents graduated from here. My older brother started at ACU, and then my little brother started at Tulsa and ended up finishing at ACU. So very familiar with the town, very familiar with ACU. And so when KP called me and started talking to me about it, like you said, I was really excited, and then coming back here has been awesome.
You're going to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame this year. Just what does that mean for you?
Yeah, that was a crazy honor, and it was a pretty humbling when I got the news that was going to happen. And then like 2 months later, Texas Tech's calling and put me in the Ring of Honor there. And so like it's been a wild couple of years as far as honors go and awards go. As awesome as they are as individual awards and recognition, the cool thing is I think that anytime people see our names or see that recognized, that we had some special teams there, and there were a lot of great players that people won't remember. But anytime, like I said, that we get recognized, I think that it just brings recognition back to those teams that we had. And by the end of things, we had as good of a 4-year run or 3-year run right there that's ever happened at Texas Tech.
Your first year in the league, you got to sit behind a great quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Y'all went through that Super Bowl run in 2010. What did you learn from him?
Yeah, Aaron was, you learn a lot from that guy. And that first year there, we won the Super Bowl, which was incredible to be a part of that and see that run happen. When I got to Green Bay, Aaron was crazy meticulous about like the footwork, and he wanted to make sure his feet, whatever he was doing with his feet, timed up with the route perfectly. And during special teams period, we'd be over there just throwing individual routes. I think that was one thing that I always took, like coming after that, was like, man, when I get into coaching, that's something I can teach my guys. He's the best I've ever seen at it.
Head coach Keith Patterson said that you have a special way of connecting with players. How have you connected so well, so quickly with these athletes?
I think what it's been is just try to hold these guys to a super high standard every single day, and point out when they do meet the standard and point out when they don't meet the standard, and just tell them, like, regardless of circumstances, the standard isn't going to change. And I think that's kind of been the message from day one. The key has to be is not like, oh, we played well, you scored 52 points last week. Like, okay, well, like, how can we improve? How can we do better this week? Then how can we be better the next week? Because if you just keep getting better, it really is a team I think can go play with anyone, anywhere in the country. And that's got to be our mindset and our mentality. And if we do, I think the sky's the limit for this crew.
FCS game of the week. It's gone the way of the Wildcats so far, 14-10. Abilene Christian leads Tarleton State. Grant Boone, Jim Reese getting ready for the second half. So, Coach, ACU wins quarter number 1. Tarleton State wins quarter number 2. And here we go for the lead in the conference. 30 more minutes at least.
At least. If you're ACU's coach, you're going, really, we're lucky to be ahead because Tarleton did dominate the second quarter. I thought ACU's defense was noticeably better than people would expect them to be. I think Tarleton would be disappointed if they didn't score more than 10. So I think both of those are ahas. And for second half, I think ACU's offense has got to find a way to run the ball better. Stone Earl needs to play better. I think it's gonna come down to the wire.
And for Tarleton State, what's been a magical season, 9-0, here they are again, as they were last week at halftime in a close game. It was 10-7. They led Eastern Kentucky. As you look at the halftime adjustments here, they scored 21 points in the third quarter. Coach, in the second and third quarter this season, they are almost 100 points per quarter better than their opponents.
And I think Coach Patterson for Abilene Christian has talked about that, maybe preached for 2 weeks. So I think ACU's got to be aware. If you're ACU and trying to knock off a superpower, then you don't have turnovers in the third quarter. You can't have turnovers.
Tarleton State 9-0, ACU 4-4, so those records may be a little misleading. You've got an unbeaten team in the league in Tarleton, and ACU with just the one conference loss, and so that's why this game is for first place in the UAC. Tarleton State won the toss, deferred their decision to the second half, and so they will get another chance to take the lead after ACU scored the first 14 points of the game. We mentioned the second quarter, just all Tarleton State. Not only did they outscore ACU 10-0, but total plays 29-13, total yards 175-26, and yet ACU has clung to this lead. 40th meeting between these two teams. It usually goes down to the wire. And, it has all the makings of another nail-biter today. Kyler Meskey kicks it off. This is returnable. And here comes Rosemond. And he's tripped up as flags come flying shy of the 15-yard line.
Got to have a block in the back or a hold, it seems like, and an outstanding tackle by ACU to stop them at the 14.
And let's see if Tarleton State goes back even farther here. Jeremy Tate, our referee.
During the return, we have 2 fouls on the play. Holding, receiving team number 24, penalties decline. Holding, receiving team number 9 is a half the distance penalty.
Okay,
First
take
down.
your pick. Which holding penalty would you like? And ACU, well, other than taking the ball away, could hardly have had a better start after the great tackle. And now the penalty by Tarleton State. All at the 7-yard line. Zach Halen was the special teams star on that play for ACU. Victor Gabalis and the Texans backed up. He had an 87-yard drive earlier. Over the middle, wide open. And did he hang on? Yes! Cody Jackson. And they're immediately out of the shadow of their goal line. Gabalis to Jackson.
Great catch. Cornerbacks got to play inside if you're ACU. I don't understand that.
32-yard pickup and a 1st and 10. I think they may review this. Wes Burge
The previous
is the replay official.
of a completed catch is under review.
Just wanting to make sure
Timeout
that
on the
Jackson
field.
hung on. It's an enormous play. And again, that slow-mo look. It was close, but I never saw the ball shake free of that right hand. Replay early in the third quarter. Back in a moment.
Are things I
Back here on the campus of Abilene Christian University, replay review. And Jeremy Tate is going to give us the verdict on a catch by Cody Jackson. Ruled a catch. Here's Jeremy.
After review, The ruling on the field is upheld. It's first down.
Ruling on the field is
Tarleton State.
upheld. One more look here. What a catch by Cody Jackson. Got his right arm under it, coach, and it never came out, didn't look like.
Yeah, great catch. Just an amazing catch.
So from the 7 out to the 39, 32-yard gain from Gabalis to Cody Jackson. Jackson had 3 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown last year when these two teams met in November. It was the last game of the conference season. Here, each team still with multiple games to go. Gabalis with a give to James Page. And a 34-yard run in the first half, picks up 3 here. And this is, in terms of just intensity, in terms of big plays, it's fitting of the top 2 teams in the conference.
Yeah, it really is, and it seems like 2 or 3 big plays every quarter, decisive, and that was one of them.
Tarleton State has dominated in the second and third quarters en route to 9-0. Wide open catch, Trayvon West against Noah Mangum. He's going to have a big first down inside the 40-yard line of ACU. Brother Harold made a big play right over there for Abilene Christian defensively in the first half. And there's Trayvon showing what he can do.
Yeah, just a 10-yard stop and had him a lot of cushion and a great throw.
So from their own 7 to the Wildcat 38, 55 yards and counting for the Texans. Here's a give up the middle. Page with a yard or 2 at the most. They ran for 90 yards in the first half. Cortland Rousseau, the bottom of the pile, bringing down James Page. Again, no Trey Page III, the leading freshman rusher in the nation, averaging 7.5 yards a carry. Now with the lower body injury, but James Page, who moved from quarterback to running back earlier this year, he and Caleb Lewis and Victor Gabalis through the air have brought the Texans back, and Gabalis is going to throw again, one-on-one, over the head of Cody Jackson, had him for a score. Jocelyn Malaska defending, but that was a chance for 6 for Tarleton State.
Yeah, just a great route, just a skinny post, and he had him by 2 steps. I'm not sure what the safety was doing on that side for ACU. Didn't turn, really had a chance for a double cover. ACU is fortunate to get out of that play.
Tarleton State 4 of 10 on third downs this year. 4 for 10 in third downs in this game. D'Angelo Ponder had an interception on the Hail Mary to end the first half. He's in as an extra defensive back. Third down and about 8. Snap to Gabalis. He's going to give it. And this is Page for about 4. And it's going to bring up a 4th down and 5. And let's see what Todd Whitten and the Texans choose to do here.
I think with that play call, I think they were thinking they had 2 downs to get a first down. I think that's what they're doing.
Went for it on 4th down and 5 earlier in the game and scored a touchdown on it down inside the tight red zone. And now another big play for both teams here. ACU trying to get the ball back and add to their lead. Tarleton State trying to take it. 4th and 5. Gabalis is going to throw, slant, caught and dropped. Tyson Williams on Peyton Kramer, and ACU gets the big 4th down stop.
Just great technique, and I think Tyson knew finally they're going to run inside and had that left arm around and knocked it out.
Tarleton State gambles. ACU comes up big, and the Wildcats will take over, leading by 4.
Hey, welcome back to Anthony Field here. The Wildcats a 14-10 lead over the Texans. Last night, 2 ACU football alumni were inducted into the ACU Sports Hall of Fame. The first, Sharkandrick West, who played with the team from 2011 to 2013. In his career with the Purple and White, he rushed for 28 touchdowns, good for 4th all time. He also was only one of 3 Wildcats to rush for 2,000 yards and gain 1,000 yards through the air. He signed with the Kansas City Chiefs in 2014, played there for 5 years, and was named the starter after Jamal Charles tore his ACL in 2015. The other football inductee is Leon Morgan, who played football and men's basketball. Lettered for 4 years in football as a tight end and a tackle, and was a first-team All-Gulf Coast Conference tackle his senior year. Honorable mention, Associated Press Little All-American as well. With the basketball team, he helped win a Gulf Coast Conference championship in '56 and '57, averaging 14 points and leading the team in rebounding. Grant, over to you.
Stone Earl wide open. Radrian Baltrup hauls this one in after a couple of drops. A huge play. A gain of 27, and the Wildcats are in business.
Yeah, great route. Just a 10-yard square in. Stone did a good job going off his first choice, coming back to that square in.
And ACU, after getting that 4th down stop on a pass intended for Peyton Kramer from Victor Gabalis, Tyson Williams defending. They hit the big play through the air, and now here are the Cats up by 4 and in good position here, 1st and 10. It's a give, and this is Rovan Banks with very little. ACU ran the ball extremely well in the first quarter. The holes have shrunk a bit in the second half.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, that's sometimes a 3-man front, sometimes a 4-man front for Tarleton State, showing lots of strength. Good job of tackling.
We said it earlier, every possession feels significant.
Yeah.
This time of the year, this point in the game, early 3rd quarter, ACU trying to knock off Tarleton State. Here's Earl on play action, dumps it off. That's Eddie Henry with one blocker and dives forward inside the 35. Let's see where they mark his foot. He stayed in bounds, he got about 7. And now you got 3rd down and 3 coming up.
Yeah, maybe 2 downs to get a 1st down if you're ACU, and it was an unusual screen to the tight end, really well executed. Cornerback and safety did a good job to keep that from going for 10 more.
Stone Earl with his offensive coordinator, Graham Harrell, talking to him in the headset. You didn't have Ted sitting in your headset, and you were probably glad in your helmet.
We didn't have him in the helmet. We did. He was in our heads.
You could hear him.
He was in our heads. He had a great voice.
One of the great offensive coordinators in ACU history. Here's Earl on 3rd and 3. Big play. He wants to go for it all. Deep. Caught. And touchdown. They're going to mark him at the 1.
Down. That's right.
I thought Dallas Dudley may have rolled over the defender, but that's the 2 biggest plays through the air this game have come on this drive.
Yeah, just a go route, vertical route, had him by 2 steps. Perfect throw by Stone Earl.
They go hurry up here. Earl with a give to Banks.
Touchdown.
He's in for the touchdown, and just like that, ACU stops the Tarleton State momentum and regains control. It's 20-10. They get the 4th down stop, and then lickety-split come the Wildcats down for 6 more.
Well, I don't think either one of us expected that to happen, especially that quickly. Great job defensively, and then ACU showed the ability to run and throw again.
Brandon Perez, first-year kicker for ACU. Want to try to make it 21-10. Only missed 1 all year. True there. Back here at Wildcat Stadium in the FCS Game of the Week. Battling for first place in the United Athletic Conference, and after a big hitter to Dallas Dudley for 31 yards down to the goal line, Rovan Banks with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. 78 yards, the 2 scores. And Jim, after 4 previous drives, netted about 20 total yards. ACU goes 67 yards in a hurry.
Yeah, and there must have been something at halftime that Coach Patterson and Graham Harrell found, because momentum changed again, but basically because ACU's offense was radically different than they were in the end of the 2nd quarter.
D'Angelo Roseman is going to wave the arm for a fair catch. It'll be 1st and 10 to the 25 for Tarleton State. So again, you got the Texans trying to stay perfect. North Dakota State up there as usual, the defending national champions. Tarleton State, keep in mind, this is just their 2nd year eligible for the postseason. They didn't make the transition to Division I until 2020. You got to wait those 4 years before you're postseason eligible. ACU went through that in 2013 through 2016. But here are the Texans going to the playoffs in their very first year, winning a game, and now they're definitely going to the playoffs. They want to go as the UAC champs, but they're down 2 scores here. And here's Gabalis and the Texans back to work. He's been terrific again today. Hand off to Caleb Lewis for a couple. we keep mentioning it, Jim, no Trey Page III. As good as these others are, they're even better when he's in there.
Yeah, they are. And with that delayed long read with the quarterback, the zone, that's just a zone give. ACU's front five, front six has done a good job all game slowing that down.
2nd and 8. They run the same play, and now Gabalis is going to throw it. Pressure coming from behind, and he's going to go down. Chris Wright with his 2nd sack of the game. And it's 3rd and long for the Texans.
I'm glad you saw it. I was looking down because they were going to throw a deep comeback on the top of the field and never got to it.
It's amazing. He just stands there. As you noted earlier, it does look like the play's dead almost. Such poise in the pocket. But that time, Chris Wright beat the left tackle and got home. 3rd and 10 from their own 25. Gabalis catches a low snap. Time to throw. Dumps it off. Lewis, couple of shuffles and shimmies. He's 3 yards shy of the first. And Rashawn Miles Jr. with another stop. And Todd Whitten slow to send the punt team on, but now here they come. What a massive turnaround in this game. Yes. Tarleton State on their own 7 to start the second half. Coach, they get down inside the 40. ACU gets a stop on 4th, and now here are the Wildcats.
Yeah, just a complete turnaround, and it's a great tackle by Rashawn Miles to keep that running back from getting a first down.
And you saw Gabalis with the emotion on the sidelines. Yeah. Great shot of him frustrated. The punt, no shenanigans on it, just a good high spiral, and Tyson Williams securely catches it at the 28. It's a 40-yard punt with no return. And now Abilene Christian has a chance to add to this lead. 21-10. So we're talking about battling for first place. Take a look. So the overall record's drastically different, but this is why it's so important. If Abilene Christian wins today, both would have one conference loss, but AC would have the tiebreaker, which is the first way that you determine should both teams have the same record in the league. Stone Earl, terrific on the last drive. He's going to give it to Banks, who spins off one tackle and turns a minus play into +2.
Yeah, I think if you're ACU and their coaches, you're wanting 3 first downs, really to just run the clock out in the 3rd quarter, and even if you don't get points, it's huge. And Tarleton's thinking we got to get the ball back pretty quickly.
And again, this is a Tarleton State team that got to 9-0 largely by getting leads and keeping them, but they do know a couple of times this year they have trailed in the 3rd quarter and come back to win. Here's Earl, play action. He is going to be brought down as a flag comes in. It's going to be a sack, and we'll see if that's going to stand or if it's going to be a penalty against ACU.
Looks like a hold against ACU.
And a decision for Todd Whitten. Do you take it? I think he just said no.
I think you're right.
3rd and 10, or do you want 2nd and 18?
Offense, number 68, penalties decline, was all the play, 3rd down.
That is the first sack of the game for Tarleton State. And so, 3rd down and 10 for Abilene Christian, who really didn't have to worry about 3rd down until that big play on the plus side of the field on the previous drive. Now, Tarleton State is trying to force a 3 and out. 3rd and 10 from their own 28. That's Jed Castles, the tight end, in motion. He was a target early. Earl caught, but stopped short of the line to gain is J.B. Mitchell. And his opposite number, Damari Hawkins, will force a punt from ACU.
Yeah, great job by Tarleton's safeties and linebackers. ACU just ran the old mesh route, 2 underneath route, cruises, and didn't get a pick. Good job of tackling.
Number 5 was wearing number 95.
And so they do get the 3 and out they needed. Hugo Nash in to punt it away. Blake Smith back deep. I mean, this is a veteran Tarleton State team. 46 seniors. Blake Smith is one of them. Nash's punt is high. Smith catches, eludes one tackle. D'Angelo Ponder is in there. And It's a loss of a yard or two on the punt return, but the Texans get the ball back for what will be their third possession here of the second half. 21-10 in favor of ACU. They scored the first 14. Tarleton State got the next 10. It's why that last score felt so big, at least at the time.
Yeah, it did.
And now let's see Gabalis and company can do. He's 15 of 30 for 196 yards, the touchdown. He does have the interception. Asterisk by it. It was a Hail Mary, but just the second pick he's thrown all year. First and 10, he's going to give it. And this is Caleb Lewis for about 2.5.
Yeah, really nice job by ACU's defense. Occasionally they come out in a 3-3 stack, and Tarleton State wanted to run the ball for sure. Really nice job of holding that zone to 2 yards.
They average 5.2 per carry this year. They're averaging 4.2 today. Second down and about 7. And Gabalis this time, straight drop, caught by Kramer, short of the line to gain. And a sure tackle for ACU's Harold West. Third down and short.
Yeah, Gabalis says, well, we'll wait on this. We got to hurry up.
Trying to catch ACU off guard. And it's a give, and it's Lewis for a first down, plus a couple. First and 10 at the 41-yard line, under 5 minutes to go third quarter.
Yeah, one of the most unusual things is to watch Victor Gabalis after the zone give. He gets in front and tries to lead block, and I don't advise that for a quarterback that's great and a good thrower and not very fast.
First and 10, new set of downs here for the Texans. Had 10 points at halftime last week, scored 21 unanswered in the third to beat Eastern Kentucky on the road, trying to win another road game. Flag comes in and a loss of 1. The center official blew the whistle. It is holding now. Keith Patterson immediately said, I want to go back. So first and 20 instead of second and 10. You like that early?
Yeah, playing field position. I think that's smart.
If it's second, if it was going to be third and 10 rather than second and 10,
you're right.
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we saw Todd Whitten earlier give up a second and 18 and take a third and 10.
Yeah,
it worked.
5-yard penalty certainly declined.
So it is a 10-yard penalty for holding. One of the biggest penalty of the game is called against Tarleton State. It negated a 65-yard pass play over the top on an offensive pass interference. First and 20. Gabalis is going to throw it. He fires it deep down the far sideline. It is intercepted. Did he stay in bounds? No.
Out of bounds.
Jocelyn Malaska singled up with Cody Jackson. And close to doubling Gabalis' interception total for the year.
Just a great job.
He used the sideline almost to his advantage,
and
didn't he?
He was out, but a great catch.
You'll hear that. The corners almost like getting extra help by using the sideline as an extra defender. Second down and 20. Clock stopped with 3:44 to go in the third. Gabalis straight drop this time. Steps up in the pocket and plenty of room. This is Fanua one-on-one. He slows him down a little before Will Schaefer can usher him out of bounds. It's a gain of 6. Third down and 14.
Yeah, I think ACU takes that. Didn't have anybody open and gave your quarterback for Tarleton State 6.
And Gabalis, that's not really something that's part of his repertoire, but he is elusive. And a couple of times today has turned not a lot into a couple, including on the third down play that led to a 4th and 5, which they converted for a touchdown. And now ACU, 3rd and 14 defensively. Here's Gabalis again with all day to throw. Rolls to his left, doesn't want to try to run. Pressure now coming, and he's going to just throw it away, and this could be grounding. I don't think he got it to the line of scrimmage.
I don't think so. I would think that's grounding if it didn't get to the line of scrimmage.
Portland Rousseau was chasing him.
Close.
And there's the flag.
Yep.
It takes the grounding. Offense number 11.
So
Quarterback was outside the tackle
enormous
box, having the
penalties
ball,
by
did not
Tarleton
take it back
State.
to the line of scrimmage.
And
This is a
you
loss of
credit
down,
Gabalis for
and it's by
not
the foul.
wanting to
Fourth down.
just try to get a couple. He wants the home run ball here. But this is when he finally sees Rousseau and he just tries to get rid of it.
An unusual defense. ACU is playing 5 under, everybody playing man-to-man instead of 2 deep. They had 3 deep, so they rushed 3 and dropped 8. Just kind of a typical prevent, your nickel or dime defense, and Gabalis could not find anybody open.
He was stretching out there on the sidelines. We saw that close-up of him. Hopefully he's okay. He ran a long way there. ACU figures to get decent field position. This is a mile in the air, and Williams fumbled it, but the flag comes in.
I think it might be.
The call looks like it's going to be catch interference, as Williams was knifing his way through all the bodies. I mean, that was a mile in the air.
Monster kick high.
It definitely was touched by Williams and recovered by Tarleton State.
Interference with the opportunity to catch a kick. Kicking team number 96.
Well, instead of a
15-yard penalty
turnover,
from the spot of the foul. It's a
it
first
is
down.
a 15-yard
Abilene
penalty,
Christian.
which is going to move the ball onto the Tarleton side of the field. And with 2:49 to go in the third quarter, Abilene Christian is going to have a great chance to extend their lead. Take one more look here.
Yeah, 3 guys right there by him. I think one definitely did interfere.
Yeah, you could have maybe picked a couple who were in there. Well, Coach, I go back to the first half. ACU led 14-0, had the ball 1st and 10 on the plus side of the field after a punt. Went 3 and out, and Tarleton State really went to work after that. Here for the Wildcats, another chance to make this a 3-score lead. It's play action. Earl wants to go deep, near far sideline rather. Sliding catch by Dudley, stays in bounds inside the 30, and that is a gain of about 14.
Yeah, maybe Stone's best throw of the game. It was a deep, deep comeback, and they did it off of bootleg action, so he had plenty of protection. Great throw.
So you think about this, a touchdown for ACU on this possession, if they can, well, even if they don't get the extra point, a touchdown on this possession makes it a 3-score lead. It would make things really tough on the Texans. Snap to Earl, it's a give, and cutting through is Wilson to the 20, to the 15. E.J. Wilson is inside the 10, and ACU is in business.
Yeah, just a simple zone, and the offensive line just destroyed the front 3.
And this third quarter, which has been the domain of Tarleton State all season long, outscoring their opponents literally by 100 points, 123-23. Now they are on their heels, and they need what they've had all season long, better than anyone in all of college football. They need a takeaway. 1st and goal at the 10. Play action. Earl dumps it off, caught by Eddie Henry, and that was an acrobatic gain of 3.
Yeah, the play never developed. Eddie Henry is supposed
Actually
to block.
lost it 3.
Yeah, block for 1,000, 1,002, and he got hung up with a defensive end, so.
Yeah, that's a loss of 3. And the best thing ACU can say about that one is they didn't turn the ball over.
That's right.
Clock is nearing 1 minute here in the third quarter. Field goal makes it a 2-touchdown lead. A touchdown makes things really tough on the Texans. Wilson goes in motion. Earl is going to tuck it and run. Stone Earl lowers the shoulder inside the 10. And now you got a 3rd down and goal, and they will have to run a play here before the third quarter clock runs out.
An unusual call on 2nd down, a quarterback draw. Got 5 or 6, but you still have 3rd down and goal from the 9.
Maybe trying to set something up here for a 3rd down play just to get a little closer after the loss of 3. And here comes, you could argue, the play of the game.
Could be.
Touchdown puts ACU in front by 3 scores. Tarleton trying to get a stop. If not, to take the ball back. In motion is Baltrop. Earl's going to throw it. Steps up in the pocket. Stone Earl has one man to beat. Stone Earl into the end zone. Touchdown! Stone Earl! And ACU has that 3-score lead.
Wow, decisive play by Stone Earl. Nobody's open, and they're rushing 4 scrambles, and shows his exceptional quickness and speed and guts.
And as disappointing as his last performance was, with 3 interceptions and a road loss to Southern Utah, Stone Earl has been rock solid today. A rushing touchdown and 1 through the air. And this to make it 28-10. It's the largest deficit that Tarleton State has faced all season. And it's how the third quarter
The end of the third
ends.
quarter. Timeout on the field.
Stone Earl calls his own number. Unturned into the end zone for a touchdown. Well, with the lights bright here today in Abilene, the FCS game of the week, ACU has shined brightest, and no one, Jim Reese, more than Stone Earl, the quarterback, as we begin the fourth quarter and ACU up 28-10.
Yeah, and I think a national audience is seeing, maybe except for last week, why Stone Earl is one of the top quarterbacks in the entire nation. He throws the ball accurately. He keeps the play alive, but he also is a great scrambler, great quickness, and that quickness on the scramble is the only reason ACU scored that time.
Well, you know this, having played the position at a high level. It's a humbling game. ACU was riding high. Things looked good. They'd gotten a big win at West Georgia a couple of weeks ago. Then they go to Southern Utah, and Earl had his worst game of the season. The Wildcats lost, but now he's been brilliant. As Roseman breaks free, and it was Hugo Nash who slowed him up. I'm sorry, Kyler Meskey, the kickoff specialist. And credit Meskey for, at the very least, stopping Roseman's momentum.
Yeah, and he and one more tackler kept him from scoring a long kickoff return.
So 39 on 39, and Harold West came over to finish off Roseman, but if not for Meskey, the kicker, at least slowing him down, could have been a big answer from Tarleton State. As it is, good field position, and they need it. First time all season that Tarleton State has not scored in the third quarter. They were outscored 14-0 by ACU. And here we go with the start of the fourth. And Gabalis, nice catch, elevating Cody Jackson to take it on to the ACU side of the field at the 36.
Yeah, just a great hole shot, playing cover 2. Safety got there too late. Corner let the receiver go without hitting him. Great throw.
Time is of the essence. I'll go back to the last time these two teams played on this field. Tarleton State trailed early fourth quarter and scored 17 points in a nanosecond and came back to win it. That time Dorian Plumley comes flying in from his safety spot for just a 1-yard gain. Another look here. Caleb Lewis, the carry, and Plumley from out of nowhere. I didn't see him, and neither did Lewis. 2nd and 9 from the 35. Gabalis, deep, middle, caught. 1st and goal at the 10. And Peyton Kramer, the leading receiver, has his 8th catch of the day.
Well, if I were ACU's defensive coordinator, I might not come out in a soft cover 3 zone because Gabalis is just ripping it.
All right, here we go. 1st and goal, Gabalis. They need to score and in a hurry. Looking right, now left, and it's deflected and incomplete. There is a flag that comes in. ACU was begging for a flag. It may be against them. Jocelyn Malaska was tangled up. And now here comes the conference. Alaska, the transfer from Oklahoma. The starter at corner this year. They're missing Jordan Mukes, who's been out second half of the year and won't return. It was 1st and 10. Pass was incomplete. Jeremy Tate is trying to sort all of this out. Here we go.
Pass interference, offense, number 19, 15-yard penalty.
That's why Jocelyn Alaska was so animated.
Yeah. It took him a long time to get there.
Yeah, and that's Trayvon West, 19 over there. You see Malaska saying he's basically keeping me from making a play on the ball.
Neither one of those receivers on that side were trying to get open. They were both blocking. Just a busted concept.
How many times do you see offensive pass interference? It's not a common foul, but twice now.
Twice, yeah.
Tarleton State's been dinged for it, and instead of 1st and goal at the 10, it's 1st and goal at the 25.
Wow.
In a game they trail by 18. Gabalis standing, throwing in the end zone for Jackson, caught, touchdown, no problem. They quickly respond, and Cody Jackson singled up with Noah Mangum, brings it in, and that was a very rapid response from Tarleton State, and they're going to go for 2 here to try to make this a 10-point game.
Yeah, great throw. Cornerbacks pressing and didn't do a very good job of that. Great throw by Victor Gabalis.
And now, we haven't seen Daniel Greek, the backup quarterback, but we really haven't seen any very many goal line situations. Yeah. Greek has been so valuable. Liberty Christian graduate, Mississippi State, and he was so important filling in when Gabalis got hurt against Chattanooga earlier this year, missed a couple of games. Greek kept them perfect. So here we go, going for 2. Hearn, the tight end, in motion. Gabalis wants to throw over the middle, caught. Tierre Young makes it a 10-point game, 28-18. And the number 2 team in the nation is not done yet.
No.
Victor Gabalis leads Tarleton State downfield for a quick touchdown. Now ACU has a chance to answer themselves. Back here, homecoming in Abilene, Texas. It's ACU and Tarleton State. They don't do blowouts. It's
I don't think it's possible.
down to the wire.
Yeah.
And ACU, despite leading 28-10, has just seen Tarleton State quickly cut it to 10.
And I think we knew why Tarleton is 9-0, and we also know why nobody in the stadium was breathing easily if you're an ACU fan. Just a great drive. Gabalis was at his best.
He's now thrown for 274 yards, a couple of scores. And when his team really needed it, Gabalis delivered. And those receivers were outstanding as well. Cody Jackson, 7 catches for 134 yards and a score. Corbin Poston will kick it off. This is returnable for J.J. Henry from the 5. Henry straight up the middle. He'll get about where a touchback would have taken them. And so this was, remember, after an offensive pass interference made it 1st and goal at the 25. Gabalis said, no problem.
No big deal.
He hit Cody Jackson on that 1st and goal from the 25. And now here comes Stone Earl, who's been outstanding today, especially in the second half, throwing and running. But with 13:20 to play in the game, it's still there for the taking. The game and the conference lead. Low snap, Earl has it, rolls to his right, time to throw, or time to run if he wants. He finds Castles instead, who can't bring it in. On his hands, but a drop. And instead of a gain of 15, it's a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, great scramble by Stone Earl. Castles doesn't do that very often.
Right in his hands, the senior. And That's the 4th drop of the game by ACU receivers. 1 resulted in an interception for Tarleton State. 2nd down and 10 from their own 24. Earl with a give. Banks, very little, maybe 3. Again, neither team has its starting tailback. Jordan Vaughn is out for ACU. Trey Page III for Tarleton State. And now a 3rd down and 7, and it feels momentous.
Yeah, it's a huge 3rd down and 7. ACU wants to hold the ball for 6 minutes, and Tarleton wants to get it back right now.
Mentioned that game 2 years ago on this field. ACU led 30-14 early 4th quarter. Tarleton State scored 17 points in the next 4 minutes to take the lead, and they won it 31-30. Here it's 3rd and 7. Earl against a 4-man rush. Fires it deep downfield for Baltrup, too long. And it's a 3 and out for the ACU offense. An enormous drop on that 1st down throw. And the Wildcats will have to punt it away.
Yeah, not the series ACU wanted or needed, and a great stop by Tarleton State.
Tarleton State uniform
Certainly,
change. Number 5 is
definitely
now
in the
wearing
game.
number 95. Number 5 is wearing
Nash.
number 95.
Back in the game, there's Radrian Baltrup. He's had a tough day, answered it with a big catch. Now Nash with Blake Smith back deep. Good snap. This is a wobbler. It's going to land at the 40. Watch this bounce here. This will take a little time off the clock and add a few yards down to the 30-yard line. A 43-yard punt with no return. Tarleton State, they scored the last time they had it. They can cut it to 1 possession on this next drive. Oh, yeah, it's that kind of a day. All the pomp, pageantry, homecoming at Abilene Christian. And Tarleton State trying to spoil it like they did at Eastern Kentucky last week, but they're going to have to come from behind. They've faced their largest deficit of their perfect season so far today. They were down by 18. Now they're down by 10. And Victor Gabalis, the 6th-year senior, 3rd year in the Tarleton State program, back out there showing why he is the preseason Offensive Player of the Year and why he might be that when the season's over as well. From the 30, down 10 with an eternity to go, 12 minutes and 11 seconds. Quick throw and a little miscommunication over on the far sideline. That was Trayvon West over there, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, unusual miscommunication. So Victor is thinking he's going to run a go route or fake it and go. So 2nd down and 10.
Well, these ACU corners are living on an island. These massive splits. You've got Trayvon West out there between the numbers and the sideline. The ball's on the right hash. 2nd down and 10 for Gabalis and the Texans. Another throw, and this time they're on the same page. It's caught. Trayvon West stays in bounds.
Said he was out of bounds.
Out of bounds, but with the catch. That time they were connected. Velasquez asking to come out. And Tarleton State back in business. They said, okay, that was our mulligan. Well, that was very close to him staying in. So they go from 30 to 35, a 35-yard gain. One more look here as Velasquez asking for some medical assistance. Boy, he almost high-stepped it into the end zone.
Yeah, he did. Wow.
But Jim, just as a quarterback, you know, you're looking at your receivers over on the edges, and for the corners, that's got to be a lonely feeling out there.
Yeah, it's a lonely, and when he's that wide, and usually there has not been a lot of help. Free safety in the middle is too far away, so if a corner's playing press coverage, for sure you got trouble. If the corner's off by 7, you got to turn and run sooner, and so our technique, the technique for ACU for those corners, you got to give Tarleton State credit, but you got to wonder whether there's some things the corners could do for Abilene Christian to make it a little bit easier.
And they've run a play similar to that, if not that exact play, at least, 10 times today?
10,
exactly. The defense
that was
went down with an injury after the ball was spotted. By rule, Abilene Christian will be charged their first charge, timeout of the half.
All right, so 1st and 10 for Tarleton State. Still 11:46 to play in the game. And that becomes a timeout for ACU because of the new rules trying to prevent teams from
faking it.
Yeah, from feigning injury. Yeah. So here is Tarleton State again. Needed just a few plays to score on the previous possession. And now in good position again from the 35 of ACU. It's a give, and here's Caleb Lewis for about 5. Hard to believe that this team has only turned the ball over in 675 plays. I'm not even going to count the Hail Mary.
No.
4 turnovers in about 600, nearly 700 plays
That's
this
just
year.
not done.
No. As much as you're running the ball, you're running the mesh. 2nd and 5, down by 10. And pressure coming! And up the middle, like a rocket shot, comes Rashawn Miles. Zion Fanua there as well.
Wow, ACU brought pressure and had a call blitz by Rashawn right up the middle.
They got sacks on both of the offensive players.
Yeah.
Well, you were calling for it earlier. In the break, actually, you said
you wonder
if ACU is going to try to put a little. The only sacks ACU's gotten on Gabalis, you were noting, those were coverage sacks.
That's right. That's right.
One of the first times he's been under duress early. Now 3rd and 11. Fanua hustles back on to the field. And Keith Patterson is livid. They're going to have to burn their 2nd timeout.
Second charge.
Yeah, he is not happy.
Timeout of the half. Abilene Christian, timeout on the field.
All right, so an enormous 3rd down and 11 coming up for Tarleton State. On the verge of field goal range, they want 6. Back in a moment. Yeah, both teams with their bands here at Wildcat Stadium. Just 100 miles away from Stephenville. Take a look at around the United Athletic Conference. Eastern Kentucky lost at home to Tarleton State last week, trying to go on the road and win in Conway, Arkansas. With Alabama, Utah Tech are tied at 20 tonight. A good game. Austin Peay at Southern Utah, where ACU fell 2 Saturday nights ago. All right, after the sack by Rashawn Miles and the timeout by ACU, it's a 3rd down and 11 for Tarleton State. You got to believe 4-down territory. With the Texans down 10. Gabalis, the 6th-year senior, takes a low snap, dumps it off. Lewis has some room, but he's ankle tackled out there by Rashawn Miles Jr., has been the defensive player of the game.
That was not a good play. That was a great play. Had somebody blocking him on the slip screen and got through it and made a, with one hand, shoestring tackle.
So a sack and then a tackle for loss. And now the task gets that much more challenging for Tarleton State. They got to go for it with 10 minutes to play, down 10, 4th down and 14. They've got to get to the ACU 25-yard line. 4 receivers. Kramer goes in motion. Here's Gabalis. Time to throw. Plants, fires, caught, but stopped. Shy of the line to gain as a flag comes in late. And I think it's going to be against ACU, a hold against the Wildcats. It is, and a 1st down for Tarleton State.
Wow, what a penalty.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 3. The 10-yard penalty for the previous spot includes an automatic 1st down.
Hold. Can't really see it there. Late flag thrown. And it's a 1st and 10 at the 29 for Tarleton State. ACU thought they had the stop. Instead, new life for the Texans with 9:40 to go, down by 10. So Gabalis and the Texans, new set of downs. Big penalties on both teams in this game. Play action. Far sideline, caught by Trayvon West. Short tackle by Williams, but not until he gained 8 to the 21. Clock runs, 9:13 to play in the game.
Yeah, about a 13-yard comeback. Ended up getting about 8, but great throw, great timing.
And ACU tries to hustle Chris Herpin onto the field, and it's going to be a flag against ACU, and it won't matter.
Yeah, that's on the coaches, I think. They got to substitute faster.
I didn't hear a whistle to call the play dead. It was a gain to the 12, gain of 9. So unless the play was stopped, Tarleton State will take the result of the play. And I don't think Keith Patterson called a timeout.
No.
But we'll see.
We have fouls, about 2 fouls in the play, both on the defense. Offsides, number 95.
Offsides and too many men.
Illegal substitution, more than 11 on the field in the defense. That penalty also be declined.
Could have been 3.
Result of the play, it's 1st down, Tarleton State.
And so ACU called for holding on a 4th down and 14 that results in a 1st down for Tarleton State. And then confusion, which led to a timeout called a couple of plays ago, remember?
Yeah, we've used 2 timeouts. I believe Abilene Christian has used 2 timeouts like that.
One in the first half, one in the second. And they had the one timeout assessed them because Jocelyn Malaska was
After
hurt.
quick review, the ruling of the field is an incomplete pass. The 5-yard penalty being enforced for the illegal substitution from the previous spot will result in the 1st down.
Okay, so the catch was ruled incomplete.
Right.
First, it looked like it was signaled as a catch. So they get the 5 yards instead of the 9. Let's see if we can see it again here.
Don't understand that.
Well, that was the previous play, I
Okay,
believe.
thank you. I think that's right. Otherwise,
That was the 8-yard gain.
Gotcha.
1st and 10. Under 9 minutes to play, and Tarleton State down 18 at one point. He's driving to make this a 1-possession game, and the confusion continues among the officiating crew. The ball was at the 21, moved to the 16 with a 5-yard penalty.
The previous play is under review to review the spot of the football.
Goodness gracious. Well, this thing is ground to a halt and interrupted what's been just an incredible back and forth game. So Jim, we go back and we say Abilene Christian 14-0 in the first quarter. Second quarter, all Tarleton State 10-zip. Third quarter, like the first, 14-0 ACU, and now Tarleton State is trying to pull off their biggest comeback of the year.
Yeah, and I think everybody in the stadium again knew that this was probably going to happen because Tarleton is obviously one of the 3 best teams in the nation, and they were ready to put together the third quarter. Now, what they usually do in the third quarter, they've done in the fourth quarter.
And that was a look again at that play that's under review currently. It was ruled a catch initially down to the 12. Then it was called no catch. And now the review continues. So you got for ACU, if the Wildcats hang on and win this game, it's not like last year in Stephenville when they knew whoever wins the game wins the league.
That's right.
And remember, neither team had ever been to the FCS playoffs. It was the first year that Tarleton State was eligible. ACU had not been since they became eligible back in 2017. This is a little different. ACU is home next week to take on Utah Tech. Then they'll play at a very tough place for visitors, Eastern Kentucky. And then they'll wrap the season up against Central Arkansas. Tarleton State has next week off and then they're home for North Alabama and Austin Peay. And so each team with tough tests still to come. Tonight does not determine the champion outright. If Tarleton State comes back and wins, they clinch at least a share of the title. But if ACU were to win this game, they and Tarleton would each have one loss. And if the Wildcats coach were to slip
Tarleton State
up,
ball 1st and 10 on the 16-yard line. The clock will start on my ready for play.
there you go. So it is going to be at the 16. That was not a catch. But
correction.
Yeah, and that took a lot of time in figuring out. Again, sometimes you lose the tempo, the flow, the rhythm when you have 7 or 8 video rechecks, and I know maybe they have to do it, but sometimes it can be really frustrating.
Tarleton State, which is one of the top scoring teams in the country, averaging 45 points per game. Stuck on 18, but they scored in their last drive, got a 2-point conversion, and now knocking on the door again. 1st and 10, it's a give to Caleb Lewis with Gabalis escorting him across the line of scrimmage for 3. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Yeah, just an inside zone with a good push.
And on 2nd down, they move with some swiftness. Gabalis is again going to hand off, and Lewis is going to lose yardage. And Zion Fanua, who's come on in the second half of the season in his first year at ACU, drops Lewis for a loss, and that looked like Gabalis more got in the way.
I think he did. I think he has nearly gotten in the way 2 or 3 other times, and that's fascinating there.
Well, they are now in field goal range. They weren't on the previous 3rd and 11. And again, ACU struggling to get players on and off the field. Herpin goes flying off, 3rd and 11. If they don't get it, we'll see what they opt to do. They hope it doesn't come to a 4th down. Gabalis, over the middle, it is knocked away by Tyson Williams. Trayvon West, the intended target. And here comes the field goal unit on for Tarleton State.
Yeah, great play by Tyson Williams. Just got there with his hand as the receiver was going to catch it for a touchdown.
I mean, that's one-on-one. And Williams, whom Coach Keith Patterson gave a little extra responsibility this week after the loss at Southern Utah. He said, "You are my man back there on the back end." And Tyson Williams delivered. Here comes the field goal try. It's on its way, and it is good. And it is a 1-score game courtesy of Brad Larson. 28-21 with half the 4th quarter still to play.
I can't breathe. Boy, great 4th quarter.
Take a look here one more time. Gabalis right on the hands of West, but Williams denies it. And so the quarter score totals are fascinating. 14 in the 1st and 3rd for ACU, none in the 2nd or 4th. Tarleton State, none in the 1st or 3rd, but 10 and 11 in the 2nd and 4th. And that's why we are at this 1-score point with a lot of time to go. ACU went 3 and out on its last possession, which included a big drop on 1st down, which would have been a 15 to 20-yard gain. Now Stone Earl has a chance to engineer a drive that could well put the game away. And there's Graham Harrell, the offensive coordinator, who had a pretty big night 17 years ago in the Plains with the catch to Michael Crabtree, Texas Tech. They're going to kick it to Henry, and JJ is just going to take the touch back, and ACU is going to put their offense out there at the 25-yard line. Well, we thought this is what we would get, and we've gotten it.
Yeah, we've gotten it, and it's been a long way to get here with turns and craziness on both teams and penalties. It's perfect, though.
And you look at what Tarleton State has done better than anyone in the nation. It's not even close. Take the ball away.
No.
Can they take it away One more time from ACU. Snap to Earl. Play action. Looking deep. He'll go with the middle. It's caught. Javon Gibson hangs on after getting a first down. And down to Roman Raffelli. Roman, we'll get back to you in just a sec. All right, 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line. Up by 7. And after a drop on the previous possession, sure-handed catch by Javon Gibson there. Eddie Henry goes in motion. It's a give to E.J. Wilson, trying to beat to the edge. He gets 5 hard-earned yards, and we go back to Roman.
Coordinator for the Wildcats, Graham Harrell, his dad last night earned the Lifetime Achievement Award for ACU. It comes after over 240 career wins as a high school football head coach and a battle with multiple sclerosis in which he was able to bounce back from and eventually win another state championship. Guys, back to you.
The way.
Yes, sir, it was.
Play action, Earl. Over the middle, caught by Gibson, hangs on, and he's got inside the 35-yard line. Well, you look one more time, Jim.
Yeah, great job stepping up by Stone and had a deep drag. Great throw, super catch.
The drive last year, inside 2 minutes, led by Maverick McIver and the ACU offense, trailing by 3. They scored with 19 seconds to go to beat Tarleton State. Nothing may ever top that drive for ACU, at least until they get into the postseason again. This is a huge one, though.
Yeah, they've got to get points of some kind.
Snap to Earl, give to Wilson. And again, squirting free to avoid a loss. It's a pickup of 2, and the clock runs with 5:25. They are right there on the edge of field goal range.
Yeah, they is. I think they need to get, well, it'd be nice for ACU if you're one of those coaches to get one more first down.
They give E.J. Wilson a couple. He's at 92 yards. Half of that came on one run back in the first half. Under 5 minutes to play, and ACU up by 7, trying to make it a 2-score game again. Wilson remains the tailback. Earl looks to throw. Rolls to his left. Flag thrown. Earl keeps it. All right, so we'll see what the flag is about here. In the area of holding.
Yep.
Holding, offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty.
It's George French,
second down.
the third. And it negates about a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, and it takes them out of field goal range.
And ACU wanted a possible roughness call here over on the sideline. They didn't get it, and I would agree that A.J. Owens was clean there. Looked like it. So at the 39-yard line, second down at about 18. 4:35 to play. And the Wildcats trying to beat Tarleton State for a second straight year with the title hanging in the balance. Play action. Earl fires. Going for Mitchell. It's nearly intercepted. A flag comes in. And this could be another hold against ACU. Ty Rawls was that close to it. All right, here's Jeremy Tate to tell us what the flag's about.
Personal foul, facing as offense number 77. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Second down.
So from 1st and 10 at the 31, now you got 2nd and 33. Well, could have been a pick, but the next best thing for Tarleton State. ACU, second down and 33, basically a third of the field for a first down. They need probably 20 to try a field goal. Earl over the middle, caught by Baltrup, gets about 15 of it there to the 42, and it brings up a 3rd and long. Clock runs. We're going to hit the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, I think if you're ACU, you get to the 32 to 33 to 34, you've got a chance to kick a field goal.
Brandon Perez has not missed a field goal in conference play, but he's never had one of this importance. First things first. Looked like Tarleton State jumped. Flag is down. Earl fires it far sideline, incomplete. They're going to get 5 free ones here. It's going to move the ball to the 37-yard line and bring up 3rd down and 17.
Offsides. Defense.
The shame of that, if you're ACU, is that
5-yard
you didn't
penalty.
get really much of a free play that you would have loved to have.
That's right.
Ideally,
That's
just
right.
lob it up there for somebody.
And if you're ACU, you wouldn't rule out running the ball or something creative to give you 5 yards.
The long field goal make this year for Brandon Perez is 35 yards. Had one blocked in the last game. 3rd down and 16. 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Earl's going to give it to Wilson. He's got a little room. E.J. Wilson cuts to the outside. Now back in and probably close to field goal range. Definitely close to field goal range. Massive decision for Keith Patterson here.
Yeah.
It's going to bring up 4th down at about 7.
I think it's the right thing to do. A good run, outside counter play, great run. Gives ACU a chance to go up by 10.
Transfer from Keith Patterson's alma mater, East Central in Oklahoma. Brandon Perez, the lefty from the left hash. With 3 minutes to go in the game, this could make it a 2-score game. A 45-yard attempt. Good snap, good hold. The kick has got plenty of distance. It is no good.
Pushed it.
He missed it right. And Tarleton State has a shot. He just smashed it. He got a ton of the ball there. Would have been good distance-wise from at least 55. But now Tarleton State, they get the stop they needed. Holding and face mask for ACU thwarted what was a promising drive. And now can the league leaders, the number 2 team in the nation, can they get the tying score? And if they get the tying touchdown, do they go for 2?
That's interesting. Yeah.
ACU hopes it doesn't come to that. From the 28-yard line. 2:52 to play and all 3 timeouts. Gabalis looking left. Flushed out of the pocket. Chased. Incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, good job by Gabalis not to throw it into coverage. Basically threw it away. ACU is in that dilemma again. If they don't rush more than 3 or 4, they get no pressure. So
not just the 3 timeouts for Tarleton State, but the 2-minute timeout as well. So whatever you want to call here, you've got it available. You would think. 2nd and 10. Game and conference supremacy on the line. Gabalis, catch, broken tackle initially, but a minimal gain in the clock runs.
yeah, great job by that safety coming over and making a tackle. Otherwise, he gets the first down. 3rd down and 7.
Trayvon West on the receiving end. Williams initially had him, but there's Rashawn Miles, the defensive player of the game for ACU. He's always been there when they've needed him. 3rd down and 7, 4-down territory. Clock runs 2:12 from their own 31. Hearn in motion. Gabalis is going to throw over the middle. Caught. 1st down. West, as we hit the 2-minute timeout,
This is the 2-minute
puts Tarleton State
timeout on the field
at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, great clutch throw by Gabalis. Slot ran an inside 10 yards square in.
Expect anything different? A nail-biter in Abilene. Back for the final 2 minutes. Back for the final 2 minutes on a gorgeous November 1st here in Abilene, and what a game. The fans haven't left. Homecoming at Abilene Christian. Grant Boone, Jim Reese, Roman Raffelli, and the team. 28-21 Abilene Christian. Big conversion on third down a moment ago, and Jim, 1st and 10 for the Texans at their own 44.
Yeah, I think Tarleton State did a great job thinking ahead by going for 2 on their last touchdown. That gives them a chance, gives them options. They can kick it if they score and go into overtime, or they can go for 2 and try to win the game.
They had the overtime game up against Army, and they won that in double overtime. Here, 2 minutes to play. 56 yards away from the end zone. And here is Gabalis going deep, one-on-one with Tyson Williams. One-handed catch by Trayvon West as a flag comes in there. They say incomplete.
Said he was out of bounds.
But pass interference against Tyson Williams of ACU.
I think that's the right call.
The result of the play is an incomplete pass. Pass interference, defense number 4.
West.
15-yard penalty. That's an automatic first down.
Didn't go as a completion, but let's take one more look here. Looked like he secured it, but yeah, I think he went out of bounds and then came back in and caught it.
Okay.
So he caught it in bounds, but he'd already gone out.
That explains it.
Pass interference against Williams. So the ball is at the 41 of Abilene Christian with 1:53 to play. Victor Gabalis trying to keep the Texans unbeaten. He's going to toss it. All day to throw. Downfield. Williams defending. Knocked away. Singled up with Kramer, the leading receiver. Williams got the better of him that time.
Yeah, if they've done that once, they've done it 15 times. They're either getting slants pretty open or deep verticals and throwing back shoulder or throwing it over the top. So great job of coverage.
And as you've noted, Gabalis has time for those plays to develop. You've got to have 3-4 seconds.
Yeah, he's got 4 or 5 seconds, and a 3-man rush for ACU is not doing much good. Even a 4-man rush is not putting any pressure.
2nd down and 10 from the 41. Gabalis again, play action. Deep down the sideline, caught by West, and he hangs on at the 10. And West is down
Injury
after
timeout
taking a
to an
pop,
offensive player.
but putting his team in a goal to go.
He's down. Looks like he might be
Boy, that's
really down, maybe unconscious. We'll see.
That is a bad sign. And a hush comes over this raucous crowd. And there's his brother Harold kneeling with him,
under review,
playing for ACU. So the brothers on opposite sides. And suddenly, the uniform doesn't matter at this point. That's Harold West in the purple jersey, and that was an immediate call for attention. They are reviewing to make sure that Trayvon West held on to the ball, but this place got quiet immediately. I think everyone knew that was a bad hit, and you can see the ACU players know what this means to their teammate, whose brother is lying on the field.
Hey, that's his brother. That's 27's brother. Biological brother.
Yeah, that is.
Hey, that's great for the West family. Harold West, that's his brother.
It's a rough scene. Meanwhile, what doesn't seem that important is being reviewed, and
yeah,
it's important in terms of records and seasons, but nothing really matters much in the scheme of things than what Harold West's brother, Trayvon, is going through at the moment. And everybody Everybody is concerned in the white and the purple. Timeout on the field. And to say a prayer for Trayvon West. We're back in a moment. Well, this is the somber scene at Wildcat Stadium on what had been a festive afternoon. ACU leads Tarleton State 28-21. You have 100 seconds to go in the game. You've got a conference lead hanging in the balance, and no one particularly cares at this exact moment. And that's because that huddle you see right there is surrounding Trayvon West, a wide receiver for Tarleton State. Fort Worth native, and that's his brother who plays defensive back for ACU, Harold West. Trayvon just took a massive hit after a huge catch, and this is the first sign of encouragement that we've seen. And there's Harold, older by a year. And there's Todd Whitten, the head coach of Tarleton State, who has a word for his player's brother. And Todd's smiling, and that's encouraging. Mm-hmm. But this has been a good 5 or 6 minutes, and one of the Tarleton State trainers immediately crossed her arms. She put one arm over the other, which is a signal by trainers to suggest that something significant has just happened, that the situation is emergent. Different protocols, different signals are for different teams, but there is Trayvon, and he's getting an ovation from both sides. But that was an immediate signal from the trainer that something bad had happened to Trayvon West, and the fact that he is up and walking is it's kind of shocking, really. And that's Harold West called for targeting against his brother. The surreal scene here just gets even more so. And as for the game itself, Jim, you've been through similar situations as a player and a coach. How do you gather yourself?
Yeah, everything changes. It's hard. It's hard for anybody to keep going. Just really hard.
The fact that they watched Trayvon get up might allow everyone to regain just the slightest sense of normalcy. As for the game itself, after a missed ACU field goal that would have made it a 10-point lead for the Wildcats, Tarleton State has come down and gotten to the 5-yard line. First and goal at the 5 with 1:42 to go. They've got to get in the end zone and then make a decision that may well have already been made. Do you go for the tie or do you go for the win? Victor Gabalis has been terrific, as he has all year. First and goal, he's going to throw it. It is knocked away by Noah Mangum. Incomplete, second and goal.
Yeah, good job by Noah Mangum on that slant. Probably the 15th, 16th time Tarleton State has run a slant.
You never know what's going to happen, and goodness knows we've been surprised all game. But it feels like Tarleton State is going to score, and the question is, what do they do? And now Daniel Greek, for the first time, checks in.
Yeah.
He's their goal line specialist, and they need something special here. Second and goal from the 5. He's going to keep it. Greek is going to be stopped short at the 1-yard line. Clock runs with 1.5 to go. Third and goal at the 1. Filled in for Gabalis, middle of the season, when Victor was hurt. Got them a couple of wins and now trying to get them into the end zone here. Can ACU come up with the play defensively? From the 1, third and goal. Greek is going to keep it again, and he is close. He is in. Touchdown for the Greek. And Tarleton State's within one, and the field goal unit is immediately out, the extra point unit. 56 seconds to play. Daniel Greek, 2 runs from 5 yards out. And Tarleton State, which trailed by 18 early in the fourth quarter, is an extra point away from tying this game. ACU blocked a field goal earlier in this game. This to tie it. It is good. 28 apiece in this rivalry that seems to always come down to the last moment. But 56 seconds
is some time.
And a timeout for ACU.
Yeah. You know, kickoff is important for ACU. If it goes deep, then you're at the 25 and you have to be really efficient. Crazy ending.
We mentioned this 2 years ago. Tarleton State was down 16 in the fourth quarter, scored 17 in a hurry, and won by 1. Here, down by 18, their largest deficit of the season. They've come all the way back to tie it, and now ACU with Henry and Baltrup back there deep, hoping to get the Wildcats started here with good field position. Corbin Poston's been kicking it to the right towards Henry, away from Baltrup. We'll see what they do here. They do it again. Henry's calling for the fair catch. And ACU will start at the 25. Stone Earl, the 6th-year senior, 164 yards and a touchdown through the air today, a touchdown rushing as well. The missed field goal by Brandon Perez, the previous possession, would have likely put this game out of reach, but he may have a chance to be the last-second hero here today. First place in the conference at stake. Unbeaten Tarleton State. 1 loss in the conference ACU, and here we go on first down. Earl over the middle, deep. Eddie Henry's got it. Midfield, breaks a tackle, and suddenly ACU is right in the thick of it.
Yeah, ran just a seam route down the hash mark. Great throw by Stone Earl.
Clock stops to move the chains. Now they start it again. 1st and 10. It's a give. It's Wilson for 3, maybe 4.
ACU has got to be aware of the clock. They got to get there a little bit quicker.
Clock runs with 30 seconds to go. Ball at the 33, already close to field goal range. Earl looking to throw. Going deep for Dallas Dudley. It is caught and dropped. Clock stops with 22 seconds and a 3rd and 6 coming up. He gave Dudley a chance one-on-one.
He nearly made a great catch. He did.
3rd down and 6. From the 33, if they don't get another yard, but don't lose any, it'd be a 50-yard attempt. We saw Perez had the leg for 50 plus.
Yes, he did.
ACU doesn't want to leave it to a field goal. 3rd and 6. And it's a keeper by Earl, and he's shy of the line to gain. 30 seconds to go. I'm sorry, 14 seconds to go. And they're going to put it on the foot of Brandon Perez, I believe. They'll take it down inside 5 seconds. And a timeout taken by Keith Patterson. Well, you don't get second chances in life all the time.
All the time. Even in the same game, you do so. Boy, 1 play left.
Eddie Henry with that first down catch put them in business.
Chance at redemption, and you want a kicker that has a very short memory. Sometimes that's hard to do.
We'll see if Todd Whitten opts to ice Brandon Perez. 28 apiece. Tarleton State, which has scored at least 30 in every game this year, has had to come all the way back from 18 down. And here we go. Justin Duff will snap it. Hugo Nash, the punter, will hold it. And from the middle of the field, Brandon Perez can give ACU first place in the conference. And there's the timeout by Todd Whitten. Why not?
Yeah, good timeout.
I mean, they just always deliver, ACU and Tarleton State.
Even when one team shouldn't, and I knew Tarleton State was going to find a way to come back, and ACU had a chance to put it away and couldn't do it. And then Tarleton had a typically great drive with a great quarterback, Victor Gabalis, making great play after great play. And then a couple of huge plays by ACU, and with a chance to win it on the last play.
There have been a couple of blocked kicks for Tarleton State this season. Everybody on their feet in Abilene. Here we go. Brandon Perez for the win. No. Good. It's good! It is good! It's a walk-off for the Wildcats!
You and I couldn't tell whether it was good.
Brandon Perez gives ACU
an
the win at the buzzer. In a game that kept throwing his curveballs, the last kick was a fooler.
And change-ups and split fingers and just unexpected stuff.
What a moment. Brandon Perez carried off as a hero at Wildcat Stadium. His longest field goal of the season. Looked like it had missed right.
Here's the field goal.
It was just right. And ACU hands Tarleton State its first loss of the season. And the Wildcats move into first, where they finished last season. Wow.
There's not much you can say. I think wow kind of sums it up. Great announcers for baseball or football. When something crazy happens, they're just quiet. And you've done a great job, and we both have, on just kind of letting the play develop. And not a lot to say. Just a great game. Great comeback by Tarleton State. Incredible.
You think about resilience. And the Wildcats pull it out. While we have a moment down to Roman.
Brandon, a huge game here. You knock off the #2 team in the FCS. How big was this game, would you see?
It was a big game. Huge game for our team. Just a huge win for us, and I'm glad. This team, I love this team. I'm glad they gave me another shot. I let them down at first, but they got me another shot, and I'm glad I could just do my job for them.
You mentioned it right there. You missed the previous field goal. How big was it knowing they had the faith in you to put you back out there and make the game winner?
It was everything. I'm just grateful for the coaching staff, all my teammates, just allowing me to do my job. I let them down a few minutes ago, and then they put me in a position to do it for them, and I'm just so glad I could.
Only 3 games left in the season. How big is a win like this for finishing the season with a lot of momentum?
It's huge. I mean, obviously it's rivals, #2 team in the land, but like KP's been saying, this is step 1 of our four remaining steps. So great win, but got to finish strong. Everything's in front of us. All our goals that we have for us are in front of us.
Thank you, Brandon. Guys, back to you.
Hey, thanks, Grant. Dude, there's no more teams left undefeated than the UAC. ACU takes down number 2 Tarleton State. What did you see? Obviously a big kick by Brandon Perez.
Man, absolutely. 47-yard field goal to win this game with no time left on the clock. Brandon Perez came in the clutch. He got redemption after missing that field goal to go up by 10. Huge opportunity. Tarleton State tried to drive down. They scored. They tied the game up. They elected just to kick the extra point, right? ACU's offense, Stone Earl driving him down the field. A big play to Eddie Henry set up the field goal, but the Wildcat defense throughout this game to hold the 3rd best offense in FCS to just under 40 points when they average over 40 a game. ACU across the board, a great win, and what a duel between two teams who are just absolutely exhilarating to watch play each other. A great rivalry, a beautiful night for football, and I could not be more thrilled to be sitting here next to you talking about a great game.
Yeah, we'll take another look at the kick. Obviously, Brandon Perez in that game against TCU, they had a little bit of some controversy. Who's going to kick the ball for the Wildcats? And they end up going with Perez in this one. Obviously, like we said, it's a big kick. But it also started before that, Stone Earl putting him in the position with Eddie Henry right there. What'd you see from that little dynamic duo?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a question mark in the kicking room with this Wildcat team. But Brandon Perez, I think he just earned the trust of all of his teammates. You take a look at the end of the game summary here, 361 passing yards. I mean, Victor Gabalis was just absolutely incredible, especially in this second half. But look at that sacks number. The Wildcats with 4 sacks. The defense got it done today. The pass rush has been good all season long, and they were just able to just hold off Tarleton just barely enough to be able to come out of this game with a win.
Yeah, like you said, for Tarleton, man, their quarterback got going with the air, passing in the air in that second half. And for Stone Earl, he was able to just manage the game. The run game got well for the Wildcats as well. What are you looking for the Wildcats? How can they keep this going later down the stretch of this year?
Well, look, you got to be better on third downs. It's something that the Wildcats have done a great job of this season, usually about 50% conversion on third down, but today just 25%. Going up against a great Texan defense, it was going to be a tough-fought battle. We knew it would be on both sides of the ball with both of these teams. ACU wasn't good enough on third downs, but still able to find a way to get it done. And man, Brandon Perez, exhilarating. 47-yard field goal for the win. Wildcats take this victory over the what was undefeated Tarleton State Texans, now at 9-1. What a great game.
Yeah, like you said, what a great game. And like we said, it was a big game, FCS game of the week. With that, Grant, we'll send it back home to you.
The work just now begins, Jim, for ACU. They've got 3 games left.
Yeah, it begins, but it's a nice thing for ACU to be looking forward to 3 games, knowing that if you win all 3, you are in the playoffs and the UAC champion. So, boy, it's amazing how a close game, either you deflate it and you just can't believe it, or it's like you've got a new life, and ACU has new life.
Brandon Perez uses his mulligan and gives ACU the win. For Roman and Jim, I'm Grant. Thanks for watching ACU and UAC football.